Welcome, members. It's Sunday night. Sorry, well, we're on time, actually. We're on time.
Early, actually.
Sorry, it's been hard to reach. I've been doing weeds. I've been doing things around the house. I've been experimenting with video game content. And damn it, like you get new equipment, and then you're like, now you need something else new. I'm like, oh man, I don't know my stinking headset. I hope the headset's fine. It worked before. Like, Brucifer, we've played games before. You can hear me in my headset, right?
Yes.
So it might just be a setting going to Twitch. I don't understand.
I'll help you with that, Max. No worries.
We finally have flying cars.
What?
Drinks on the house. We made it to the future. There's dandruff on the thumb. There's not dandruff on the thumbnail.
What?
What are you talking about, CJ?
He's saying about this. I needed it. It's not. Why are you groaning? It's not dandruff. It's like.
I'm just laughing at the quality of the thumbnail.
Well, I took a picture of this with my phone, and it's taking a picture of a monitor. That's why it's all. But it's
you can screen capture, right?
All right, moving on. Yes, probably.
Boomer.
So I'm uploading also content that's supposed to upscale the video game content to 4K, even like Wii U. And I did, and I tried Star Fox, and I tried. I'm just shocked and taken aback and flabbergasted.
How bad?
Flying cars? There's airplanes. It's not that crazy. Now, if you actually see people driving cars, flying cars around every day, then that would be different, Why what? Why the thumbnail? We're going to react to Grace tonight. I don't even know who's going to come around tonight because everyone's busy with the holiday.
Yeah, because tomorrow's the holiday. Remember, don't forget 4th of July is on Monday.
Tuesday.
What's Tuesday? I have to work. Lots of people have off.
Yeah,
off. Well, it's Monday for me. Yeah, so sorry, it's Monday for me. You're still on Sunday, so
yeah,
I'm in the future.
I don't think that's that crazy, CJH. There's airplanes and there's other flying things. I'm just when I would be shocked is like everyone turns in their car for a flying car, and then people are so angry all the time. I don't want, I'd be afraid with drivers in the air.
I'd be afraid with exes flying their cars into people's apartments, trying to kill them.
Oh boy!
What?
So just to be aware, guys, I want to put this out there. Remember, there's a limitations to Twitter, so keep a lookout for your Twitter, because I know a lot of people right now are getting this problem where they're reaching a maximum limitations on viewing tweets.
Listen, if you're viewing 600 tweets a day, there's a problem. That's a lot of tweets. That's a lot of time on Twitter.
Shh. Kelly, stop it, please.
Go outside. Have a drink.
Go touch the grass.
Listen, if you're just getting here, they eat grass, which they shouldn't. Get over here. And I couldn't finish the weeds because it was raining today. Kelly! Why can't anything go right today for me? Come on,
I have no idea.
Come on, Kelly. Sky Social? Blue Sky Social? I don't,
No. You don't want to do that right now because that's a bit complex to sign up for that. I tried to sign up for that. I couldn't do it. I don't know how to work around it.
Yeah.
That's where James Gunn is dropping exclusives.
Yes.
Well,
they're working on a score for Superman Legacy right now.
Keep that up, Darth Lopez. You will be in the corner, timed out.
What that's facts. He doesn't see. Did he say that that's all she does? No. Brucifer.
No demeaning women in this channel, Lopez.
That's not demeaning women. She actually did. She did. She's a producer and other things.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. She did fetch coffee, but she also produced a lot of things.
So you take all her accomplishments and making it into coffee. All right.
No.
Okay.
No.
Just saying.
No. No, you're straw manning. Did he say that to Darth Lopez? He said Kathleen Kenny used to fetch Lucas's coffee.
Listen, I can mess with Lopez all I want.
Oh, CJ. It's actual. He did a lot of other things though too. And there was a video floating around of where they were all on stage and they were giving props to George, Stephen, and Harrison. And I thought it was kind of lame that they didn't include her. You know, did you know people were laughing at it that don't like her? I actually felt really bad for her, and that wasn't cool. Did you see that clip?
About what?
There's a clip where recently when Indiana Jones was debuting, they had Steven Spielberg, and he's like, I want to thank George. It wasn't someone presented Steven Spielberg. I want to thank Steven. I want to thank George. I want to thank Harrison. And they didn't include her in the thanking. No. Steven, I apologize. There's a clip of Steven Spielberg thanking George, Harrison, and John Williams. And Kathy and her husband are standing right there on stage too, and they did not thank Kathy. And that was lame. Now you could time him out. No, I'm just kidding. Glorified intern.
Come on now.
Nah.
Yeah,
need an invite code for Blue Sky? That sounds elitist. That sounds like the what do they call it? The Illuminati Twitter.
No, that's why I was like, no. Like if you want to go to a platform similar to Twitter, go to Hive Social. That's a great platform. Another great platform. Yeah. So you can use Hive Social. It's like Twitter. There's no limitations or anything. But it's more realistic than what Twitter has right now.
Great producer, but she's failed with Lucasfilm.
How is it failure if the people are saying the movie is great?
Well, I have a lot of people.
It's not her fault. It's not her fault that people aren't going to the movie to see Indiana Jones.
Well,
you think so?
I don't think it's her fault, but she certainly keeps
consistently
she keeps putting people in projects that don't necessarily equate to box office success.
But it's a good movie.
Well,
right?
From what I've heard, a lot of my friends have liked it, and I'm intrigued, and I'm a little bit higher on it than I used to be. Like I was really thinking it was going to be bad. I'm still not sold on Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I'm not a hater of her. You know, I'm just not a lover of her work either. Like there's nothing that I've seen that I've actually like, wow, she's amazing. But I haven't seen the Fleabag show.
Well, hopefully this is the last Indiana Jones movie they make ever.
No, I don't hope that either.
Why? Because people would just shit on it because it's not Harrison Ford.
Right? I do think that Indiana Jones should be a mantle regardless of what Harrison thinks. You know, but I don't know. Look at the young Indiana Jones was great. There was not all of it, but there was some great stuff in there. It's only a matter of time before Canada bans Twitter. I hope for your sake, CJH, they do in Canada. Because you go a little hot on Twitter, bro. You go a little hot.
Yeah, you.
I agree. This should never have been this high of a budget for one movie. You know, this isn't Avengers Endgame. This is Indiana Jones. They're not assembled. I don't think this should have been $320 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes it cuts it off at the knees, the success that it could get by having a budget that high. You know, very few movies should get a budget that high anymore, in my opinion. You know, maybe 250 million. But this isn't like the Avengers assembling.
How long was this movie in production? When did it start filming? And
I don't know.
I'm just asking. You should know these things.
I don't know. Well, let's start reacting. This is a fresh reaction. I actually think Grace's Movie Math is one of the most important series in YouTube commentating. This is more important than anything she does because as much as everyone gets all upset about other people's opinions and your feelings, cash is king. And if it's not making money, I don't know. I haven't paid attention to the box office for Indiana Jones. I think it was doing slightly better than Flash, but I'm not sure. Don't give me any spoilers, Bruce. For I haven't checked it out. I want to see.
It's about Flash made more his first weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it
Okay.
made 130.1, and Indiana's is 130.
What about domestic?
Kelly, domestic is
here.
better than the Flash.
Okay, that's something.
For like 4
because
or 5 million.
I don't know if Captain Freedom be
What
nice
the hell?
and even if she is, I mean, I don't think she is, but who cares? Why
We get all the crackpots tonight.
a cute one. Okay. I'm giving you a weird warning. I don't know what Captain Freedom. What the heck? Hey, we like everyone, so I don't know. Okay, moving on. Watch that one, Brucifer.
Hello, and welcome to this week's Movie Math, where once again Kathleen Kennedy has chosen poorly. And this
See, it's not just me. It's not just me.
Wait, Max.
Yeah.
Where's that intro that she normally does? Well, she goes, wow. What happened to that?
Yeah. I agree, Captain Freedom. She is goofy. I agree. I'm goofy too.
Well, she's still one of the biggest movie talk.
No, I actually think that if the industry is not following her stuff, they should be paying attention to Movie Math. It's very important. Kelly, get over here.
Especially embarrassing because this is a franchise that Kathleen Kennedy worked on directly at the beginning of her career, proving that she wasn't at all responsible for its success.
I don't like that, Grace.
No, don't say that. No,
I don't
agree
like.
with that.
I think.
Hey, Lopez, want to come on the show?
Well, yeah.
You want to come on the show?
Sword of Power. You can let him come on as a guest. You can.
Yes.
That's
Lopez,
the Sword of
want to come
Power.
on?
Members. That's not every week, but members can have a guest.
Wait. I got the perfect clip for that. Where is it? Where is it? Max, you got too many clips.
You're taking too long.
You got too many clips.
I can't find it.
You want to come on the show? You want to come on? Do you want to come on then? Do you want to come on? Do you want to come on? Do you want to come on? If anyone wants to come on, do you want to come on?
Good job. Can't
Claudia,
right now.
you got to be faster with the clips, buddy.
All right,
you gotta learn what they are.
I don't.
Love you, buddy.
Kelly, I'm serious, girl. You are driving me nuts. Come on.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Who's nuts?
CJH doesn't want to come. What is going on with you, CJH? Come on, bro. I don't want to come.
Did we ask?
Okay. Yeah, the clip asked. Okay, so Kelly, get over here.
Where'd it go?
Get your bone or something. Sheesh. There, she got it. She listened to me. Yeah, chew on that and shut up, please. Sorry. She put it on the. She dropped it on my toe. She put it on the keyboard and it fell on my toe, and then she ate it. Like, here, look at what I'm doing. All right.
That's hilarious.
All right. Okay. So get those thumbs up there for reacting to. I think that was an uncool take, Grace. That maybe you could say with this most current one, but that she said with the past, she's proven that she hasn't been. I don't agree with that. Okay.
Recall the whole reason that Kennedy was hired to take over Lucasfilm in the first place was because of her extensive history with George Lucas and especially Mr. Movie Magic himself, Steven Spielberg. She made her career starting out as his assistant and then producing.
Oh, look, you going after Darth Lopez, Brucifer? That image.
Grace hates that image. White women. We know this.
I have said that. That's what got me blocked. That's what got me blocked. That's
you see what I did there, right, Max?
Yes. You're trying to make me. I tweeted at her, "Why do you hate white women? Why are you overly critical of white women?"
She hasn't blocked me because I don't want to.
Yeah.
Oh, die around.
But she actually got an image of her serving coffee to Steven Spielberg almost, or so. I don't know. Is that coffee? It's something.
Yeah,
Spielberg's
it's a
movies,
drink.
but clearly was not a part of his creative process at all. None of that movie magic rubbed off on her, not even a smidge. In fact, she seems to have negative movie magic. Perhaps Kathleen Kennedy, you could argue, is more of a Roy Disney, right? A numbers business person, and not a Walt, the creative. But
No,
she
she's
seemed
not
to have not been able to get along with any directors.
She's not a creative, and I honestly think, no, not to single out Kathy, that's a problem with these people that want to run these universes. They have to, I think they need to be somewhat of a creative to make it all work. It's more than just hiring and producing, to me. And I'm not singling out Kathy Brucifer. Is that fair? I think of these people, these high-powered executives that have unlimited resources, I think they need to have a creative bone in their body.
You don't think her hiring the best talent there is
No,
her fault that these movies underperform?
I think you need to make it all work together, and you have to when something happens, you got to smooth out the creases and make it, a smooth product at the end. And I think that very rarely happens.
So I'm assuming you're gonna say Kevin Feige should hire better writers at Marvel.
Yes, he should. Lately, Grace is actually right. He should. And I liked Rick and Morty back in the day, but since they hired the Rick and Morty writers after they got rid of Gunn, and they also hired the Rick and Morty, they're not working well. I don't think so either. I think she's right on.
Somebody clip that out.
No, I'll admit when I think she's right. I think lately, although Secret Invasion is fire. I love Secret Invasion. I was so surprised. Voltaire.
Hi,
Voltaire.
I knew I smelled something in here.
Hey, Jeff, good gamer. You're allowed. He's part of the team now. If you want to pop on the I don't know if Brucifer knows that, but yeah.
No, he wasn't here yesterday. It was
I was on Renovision last night.
We got two good gamers now. We have more gamers too, but Taladia and Jeff might be next Saturday is the Taladia appreciation stream, which we're really looking forward to. And then maybe the week after that, Taladia, we could try to bring back MME International and try for a good time for you.
We can try.
Oh, see, we could try. Okay,
we can try. No guarantees.
No guarantees.
How far are we into this video? What did I miss? I really
we're like a minute in.
Okay, because today, against my will, I was compelled to pay for 2 tickets to Dial of Destiny.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm interested in speaking about this topic now.
Of course you are.
You saw it?
Yeah, I saw it. Against my will, I was compelled.
Okay. Well, no, that's great. That's great.
No,
I've almost...
the promise of boobs and hand job will get you to do anything.
Brucifer is a very smart man. He knows exactly what.
Come on,
he knows me very well.
I think I do. You've been my sworn.
Grace is reacting to you. We'll start over for Voltaire because he should hear this. This is a great. I think she was unfair to Kathy at the beginning of here, Voltaire. So I think you should hear it.
Hello, and welcome to this week's Movie Math, where once again, Kathleen Kennedy has chosen poorly. And this time, it is especially embarrassing because this is a franchise that Kathleen Kennedy worked on directly at the beginning of her career, proving that she wasn't at all responsible for its success.
I don't like that. I don't like that. She could criticize her on the current one, but she had a hand in the success.
Yeah, I mean, she played one of the dancing girls in Temple of Doom.
Oh,
as I proved on this show.
This is where I hand in my resignation from MMA.
No, I didn't say it. We have difference of opinion here. Voltaire is even harder than I am on Kathy. I disagree.
This is the echo chamber.
No,
only
it is
one opinion
not.
matters.
No. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I want to hear more about this.
Anyway, yeah, and I'm making a joke. I don't know how much she had to do with those films, so I can't speak to it. So.
Well, she got the money connected. George Lucas and Steven Spielberg at that time were rolling with creative stuff, and she got the connections rolling. She greased the wheels to get these projects They were very prolific in the
Yeah,
80s and early
She knows
90s.
how to be a producer. There's no question.
Yes.
As you might recall, the whole reason that Kennedy was hired to take over Lucasfilm in the first place was because of her extensive history with George Lucas and especially Mr. Movie Magic himself, Steven Spielberg.
But don't you also think that this is a very pivotal moment?
Can I ask a question? People consider Crystal Skull to be one of the worst Indiana Jones movies, correct?
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
Who was the director in that movie?
Steven Spielberg.
Oh, okay.
Well, and
Just
the movie
people-
was panned.
People still blame George on that, though. They say, "Oh, George made Steven do it,"
So
and then he quit.
another Kathleen Kennedy failure then.
No, that was that was Steven Spielberg. He ran that.
Just asking.
Yeah, I never said
So
that.
they tanked you think they tanked the brand with that movie?
Yeah, I do actually.
So you think anything after that wasn't going to produce any numbers?
Well,
Asking questions.
it killed any chance for it, and Bruce, for that was how many years ago, right?
Well, you can say the same thing about DC, right?
Yeah. All right. I mean,
I'm just,
yeah, you're right. It was already but there's no question. People, look. She made the choice to make this movie. You're 100% right. This is not a character that people were screaming to have a movie made for. There's no question about that.
You think they just did this for Harrison Ford to say goodbye?
No.
Yeah.
No, she did it to make $1 billion. She there's no way she did it just to say goodbye.
I don't think they did this to make $1 billion. I don't think they had expectations.
I think hiring James Mangold was a great decision. It probably would have been easier to do this movie like 5 years earlier, and then you wouldn't have to lean on such the old man storyline. I mean, what else can you do?
They were going to do that no matter what.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
I do think. I have no proof, but I don't believe that Phoebe Waller-Bridge just happened upon this after they hired James Mangold. I think that was Kathy. You get her.
Oh, 100%. She loves her.
Yeah.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not 100%.
What do you think, Perp?
But I don't think
in
that was
terms of
James,
what?
I don't think that was
I don't
James
even know what
Mangold.
we're arguing.
No,
I have no idea either.
I don't think it was James Mangold saying, I want to hire her for this. Whatever. Kathy sees something in her. That's fine. We got Jeff, the newest member of MME.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Another
Yes.
member
Hi.
of enemy.
Are you okay, Perp? What are you feeling?
Yeah.
What's wrong, Perp?
I
What's
want to
wrong,
talk
baby?
about. I want to talk about Flash.
You want to talk about
We'll talk
Batgirl?
about Flash.
I'm happy to talk about Flash too.
I want to talk about Flash.
And that's directly related to this in a way. So
Well, this is
once
a very
we're done with this.
Yeah, this is a very pivotal moment for Kathy. I don't think that she's just immunity right now. I don't. I feel
I respectfully disagree with you.
I think, man, I think the number crunchers at Disney saw this coming. Okay. Everyone saw this coming. I think there's something to Kathleen Kennedy doing this as a legacy thing for Harrison Ford. If they, knew each other for that long, it's definitely something that you could see her pushing. If you're going to go with the narrative of whatever, I think I could go with the narrative that this is a personal project for her and Harrison, and she wanted to get it done no matter what, knowing it was going to bomb, which to me gives it artistic integrity in a way.
So could I say something?
Please do.
You're right in a sense, but it's not for altruistic purposes like you and Bruce are implying. She had a vision to have Phoebe Waller-Cates take over as Indiana Jones and do a TV show and do all this stuff with her. And this movie was, as they say in wrestling, to put her over, to set her up as the heir apparent to Indiana Jones. Mm-hmm. And that's very obvious to me.
Can't that be like 20%? Couldn't it be more? Wouldn't it be more important to her that she says goodbye to this character that sort of built her career? And then it's like, also maybe, we could maybe have a side character. Yeah, sure, whatever.
No,
maybe
she
for a long
wants
run.
to continue the IP more than anything. I really believe that.
Okay.
I
don't
think it
think
was
she's that
important to establish Lucasfilm more than just Star Wars, and they tried to do it with Willow and this. And just so you guys know,
But
Jeff has joined Team MME, but I don't. Perp's at the very top of the list for StreamYard access once I pay for the upgrade, and then Jeff, and then Jared, So there's more. I just haven't paid yet. I still gotta pay. I got bills, but y'all. I still gotta slide
Did
some.
you say y'all?
I think
Yeah,
I did.
Y'all?
Yeah. So hit that like, people.
Hit that like for that y'all.
I don't know why I said that. I
What?
still got to slide
well, because-
some
that's
Joe's
because-
way. I still
that's
got to
because-
slide some Joe's way through PayPal.
Well, that's because you're from Pennsylvania.
yeah.
That y'all has been co-opted by everybody. Trust me. I live in California and people
Oh,
say it all the
jeez.
damn time. And it's like the most people you'd never imagine saying it
Oh.
that shouldn't be saying it, quite honestly.
As soon as I pay for the upgrade, it's about $100, which I could do it for I already paid the main thing for the year. It's just $100 more. Then I'll get the StreamYard because
get these super
MME's still
chats in.
good. No,
Get these
it wasn't.
super chats.
I wasn't trying to e-beg. I'm just telling you the truth.
Come on, everybody, pay up, you selfish jerks. Let's go.
No, this is supposed to be.
If you want to get paid to be
celebration.
insulted, hit us with a super chat.
You guys are
Also,
enjoying this content
in
for
the
free.
in the private chat here. I'm doing an invite to my Discord. The Discord's actually doing better. It's very
Yes.
positive in there, especially with StreamYard's limitations. I'm going to be doing more Discord, and then eventually I'm going to ask Blue Jay to post the current scores for the box office game, and then we're going to have. I already made the section for the Team MME. We're going to link everyone's channels there.
Have you thought about doing a Discord call-in show where you put Discord in the StreamYard and have people from your Discord actively call in from Discord while you're streaming live?
Yeah.
You can, but isn't it everyone at once?
No,
No.
you can choose to.
We can. What you can
Okay.
do is we can create a private room
Mhm.
essentially, and then you can drag people in
Mhm.
one at a time.
Well, one thing I really want to work on, not to get sidetracked, is Channel of the Day. When my wife was on MCN, multi-channel network, they did that. It really helped people out. But I do know that people just don't like to like and comment. You know,
Wait, was your wife working for Freedom or?
no comment. I'm
No
not getting all the
comment.
details.
No. I'm just asking. It's a genuine question.
So
'Cause I was part of
You
MCN.
had your chance at hard-hitting questions on
Yes.
Max Paladia. You lost it. You had your
Yes.
show. You should have been prepped with that question.
Yeah, you did a fluff piece.
Yeah.
Does anyone have a suggestion for Channel of the Day today? I'd like to do it on Sunday, for a specific video, and we'll have to get out.
Yeah.
I think
I
the owl was
stumbled
the
on this
first.
channel that the guy really doesn't know what he's doing, but he's trying, and it's called Kingdom of Nerds, I think. Something like that.
Doesn't know what he's doing. He's trying.
But
He's
that
a-
channel has great production value. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
yeah.
It has sick transitions.
Yeah, it does.
Mhm.
All right, I'm back.
Speaking of Kingdom of Nerds, tomorrow night, 8 p.m., come join Kingdom of Nerds. Me, Little Movie Perk.
I don't like
Garth
how
Lopez.
I'm very.
We will be featuring our top 5 80s movies.
Oh, that's
That's a
great.
good topic.
Do I have to bring anything to that?
No, you just send me the stuff.
Does everyone have
I've
like
already
for the
done
hall-
all the slides and everything.
Oh, do I
Everything is
show
done.
it's like clips and stuff? Do you want me to bring clips? You mean? Well, we'll talk later. We'll talk later. Yeah.
Ooh. Little
Hey.
movie producer. Yay!
Yeah.
All right. Hey, let me turn the reins back over to the head of the show, the man of the hour, the man with all the bad takes, Max the
bad
Mandalorian.
takes.
Voltaire. Oh,
Oh.
Wow, we're in rare form tonight, guys.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. All right.
We're
Well,
on form tonight.
I have to say, Secret Invasion is legit, man. I'm loving Secret Invasion.
What?
Yes.
Weren't you hating it like 2 weeks ago?
No, I was worried. Voltaire and me were worried.
Starting
We
to
didn't
see a
want it-
cycle
We
here.
didn't. We didn't want it to be
Mhm.
bad. What cycle, Perp?
I'm starting to
And
see a cycle. I'm not gonna say it out loud yet. I'm just
I
saying.
was gonna
Red
say I'm
flags.
pretty.
Just write that
I
one
don't
down.
like a
Perp.
down
I'm
and
writing it
trotting
down.
raptor.
Thank
I
you.
like a
I
little.
might
happy
do a
Louie raptor.
montage edit of certain cycles. You know.
Thank you. I agree.
Kidding.
Darth Lopez
I'm
calling out
messing with
other
Max.
people in the chat. Oh my gosh, this Captain Freedom. He might actually. Oh boy.
Ooh, here we go.
Voltaire, are you
Whoa,
happy?
come
Are you
on.
happy? Are you
Captain,
happy?
calm down with the content in the chat.
Are you happy
please.
what I said? I was shocked at how good Secret Invasion is.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, I'm
God.
happy. I'm just letting. I'm look.
Too
you
much
guys,
freedom for Captain over there.
yeah, a little bit. I love Nick Fury. I want this show to be great. I just want the
Yes.
episodes to build up a little bit. Then I'll go back in. Absolutely.
There's some surprising stuff too. Okay.
Oh, that was a little heavy-handed.
Well,
No. It
mean, that
only
wasn't
it
the
only
worst
shows
one.
it only shows like that in StreamYard.
okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. Freedom. He's limited on his freedom now.
Freedom isn't free.
Okay.
there's a
and
half-
listen,
there's a half-
Perp, we want to talk about the Flash. We'll talk about.
No,
the
you
Flash.
don't.
Yes,
I
we're going to talk
do.
about
I
this. And we're
noticed
going to
that's
talk
part
about
of
the
the
box
cycle.
office, and then we'll go to Flash. That's because it's relevant. wanna
Voltaire
compare-
actually went to pay.
I was
with-
compelled. I
with
paid
no
2 tickets.
nothing convinced him to go. There was no company that was intriguing him to see it. Okay.
Well, it was the
I'm
promise
sure
of
Crazy
an
Joe saw it like
HJ
8
and
times
a
already.
ZJ. What was better, the HJ or the ZJ?
Come
we
on
need to
now.
get
Oh,
you on here,
please.
Crazy Joe. We need
Oh,
to get you
please.
on. Okay. All right. Let's see what.
Let's simmer down.
And I was experimenting with other video content. It's hard. It's hard to do edits and high quality video. Oh my god.
I love it.
She made her
keep you on
career
another
starting
day.
out as his assistant and then producing Spielberg's movies, but clearly was not a part of his creative process at all. None of that movie magic rubbed off on her, not even a smidge. In fact, she seems to have negative movie magic.
Negative movie magic. What do you think of that? Walter? Negative movie magic.
I love Grace. Everybody hates on her. I love her. This is animated and she's entertaining. Come on.
I love Grace as well. Respectfully disagree.
Oh, Crazy Joe, look at that.
Aw.
That's not nice, Joe.
Crazy Joe, be respectful.
Yeah, don't you could say I think she's wrong.
She never takes.
Okay.
Perhaps Kathleen Kennedy, you could argue, is more of a Roy Disney, right? A numbers business person, and not a Walt, the creative. But she seemed to have not been able to get along with any directors either. I think Lucasfilm, from a business perspective, is
These
even-
aren't acts. They're too busy. Patty Jenkins is too busy.
All these new directors are spoiled.
New directors are
That's
spoiled.
the problem.
You think?
I don't know.
Can
No,
you
I'm
explain-
kidding. That's a joke. That's a joke.
Okay.
I agree with that joke.
Yeah. So what is she really bringing to the table at this point? I've heard from my sources that this is likely the final straw for
Ooh.
Ooh.
The tea is spilled. The tea is spilled. She is saying her sources. This is remember. Listen, I
don't
think
bring up
Grace.
Film
Wa-
Talk.
I think no. Me and Grace. I was the first one to suggest that they were going to maybe my first Kathy Kennedy fired video.
That was
I
5
was-
years ago.
I know. Okay, but listen.
Oh my God.
If you keep
I-
repeating it,
Why are you
every
bringing
year-
that up? That's embarrassing.
It's not embarrassing.
That's
not
embarrassing.
I said they were potentially looking for J.J. Abrams to
Really?
take over.
Really?
And then she said they had
That's
an
embarrassing.
emergency meeting
You're embarrassing.
and no one wanted to take over based on the drama, the situation. Just like they wanted certain people ahead of James Gunn, but no one wanted to take over for DC.
Mm.
You do know they approached other people before James Gunn.
No, I didn't know that. Is that
You-
true?
Yes.
Wow.
Todd Phillips from Joker,
Okay.
and I think someone else. too.
Actually, Todd Phillips makes sense that they would have.
Oh no, there was another guy right before Gunn.
Oh my God. What
before-
would Todd Phillips do? with
Between
the whole
Todd
PC?
Phillips, in between
the
and
person
there was-
before Gunn wanted way too much money.
They went
for
to
his
Todd
production-
Phillips
his
because he
production
did
cost.
Joker.
yeah, and they
That's
changed.
one movie.
They
Well,
changed.
Hangover.
Her. The industry looks at $1 billion.
Oh my God.
Perp,
They
get a
look at the
gummy.
profit-
Come
the
on,
profit
man.
margins on that are insane. Low budget.
Okay.
Come on. Yeah. But there was a guy in between that he actually changed his mind.
You
Besides
think that would have been a
Norman-
good pick?
No, I didn't say that.
I'm just asking you. Your opinion
I don't
on that.
know. I don't know.
His
I
name
don't-
was Ron Lynn. Thank you, Robotic.
Todd Phillips.
Dan Lynn.
Yeah, Todd Phillips didn't want to do it, so it's not a good
Yeah.
fit if he didn't want to do it.
Hey, Gary. Thanks, bud.
Even Todd Phillips knows not to ask Todd Phillips.
Yeah, he just wants to do his thing. Okay.
For Kennedy because of her past involvement with this very franchise. If she can't get this right, she can't get anything
your fan
right.
club's
Although I
there.
think many of us suspected that already.
No
Her
one could
current
get Indiana
contract
Jones.
runs
This is
through
bull crap. No one
2024.
could get
She just
Indiana
has
Jones
one
right. Okay, he's done. He was 80. No kids care about it. TikTok does not care about Indiana Jones. No one's gonna get it done. Again,
I
everyone
agree.
knew this.
Grace pointed this out too.
Who could get it done? Who could get it done?
Grace pointed this out in a video earlier, but I have some thoughts about the film. But go ahead, and then I'll tell you.
Tarantino?
Gunn was the first choice. He turned him down.
No, he was the first choice to direct Superman. He wasn't the first choice to take over, Joe. You're mixing two things together. They asked him to do
Ooh.
Superman when he did the Suicide Squad, and he changed his mind.
Right, that I did hear.
Yeah.
That I did, yeah.
They didn't say take the whole thing over. Okay. But keep in mind, even though people rehired Gunn, there's still a stigma there with his past tweets. Not to me personally, and I know
Still?
people are going to
Wait,
grow.
nobody cares about that.
Yes, don't say no one cares.
Oh,
People
who
care.
cares?
People care.
What people? Name these people. I want names.
Yeah,
There's
four.
addresses.
people that
At
care.
least 4 people. At least
Very-
4.
No, very religious people I've seen
Very
online.
religious?
Yes, or people that
They
were
didn't care.
impact-
They didn't care enough
they
to
were-
stay away from Guardians 3.
I'm not me personally. Why you guys hammering down? I'm fine with Gunn. I think he's very talented. I can't wait to see what he does. But there are people who care, and they're allowed to
No,
not.
I
They're allowed to
just-
not like what he did. You know, just like Ezra. I think Ezra did a great
I
job.
want
but people-
names.
I'll say this right. When
No,
James,
go ahead.
I have names, but I don't want to bring people's names up.
what I'll say is what
What, the
James
4
Gunn.
people on Twitter?
No,
I can't even say a word.
Talani's getting frustrated. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Talani.
So I was gonna say is that what James Gunn did was kind of wrong. Like,
Yes.
firstly, like for Warner Brothers Discovery to announce Henry Cavill coming back as Superman, publicly announcing it, by the way, and then all of a sudden within 2 weeks he's not coming back, and this is James Gunn coming out and saying this. It's like, well, why announce it in the first place if he's going to return? Do you get what I mean? And
Alright.
Was
And
he
I think-
hired? Was he hired before the announcement?
yeah,
Yes.
What's
Oh
their
yeah.
contract?
Oh, that was yeah. Remember, Josh from Dead and Nerds called him out and said he doesn't like him, and he got mad at him. He goes, "That's not true. I do like him." And then 2 days later, Cavill said, "Oh, they just told me I'm
You
not."
can't
doing
fire
Superman."
someone that wasn't hired.
You know what he means by that. Come on.
yeah.
And
Jeff,
I think Cavill said that he's returned as Superman. I don't,
Yeah, the verbal contract, Kavari. Verbal contract does mean something.
Mhm.
So
Jeff, what's your thoughts on Kathy and Star Wars and Indiana Jones? Have you been liking the Lucasfilm's output lately, or
like that.
I think you're a mute, Jeff. Oh, did I mute you? You mute yourself.
No, there you go.
Max with the censorship of his
No,
own
no,
channel.
Wow.
No, Jeff.
All right.
Jeff has got no mic in. There we go.
Oh, okay, there you go. What's your
Yeah.
thoughts on the current? Before we move on, what's your thoughts on the current Lucasfilm with Star Wars, Indiana Jones? Are you happy with the output, Disney Plus, or have you been enjoying the content?
I have. You're having mic
Oh.
issues there, bud.
He said I
he's got
have.
mic issue.
Yeah, I think he had more thoughts than that, though.
Okay.
Just
Oh.
a guess.
Goldman, 5 out of
Golden
10.
man.
Okay.
It was okay.
We'll get to you again, Jeff. I'm sorry, my problems there. Okay, all right. Let's see what else she has to say. I think this is an important video.
The left. Question is, does Bob Iger let her finish out her run and then step down, saving some personal dignity? Or does he stop the bleeding? And I mean, how much blood is left in Lucasfilm anyway? If he wants Kennedy out now, if he's like, I can't take another year of this, what are his options? He is firing a lot of people right now. So he could either fire her, which I think I have to say.
They will never, even my first video, I didn't say fire. I said they would kind of say she's busy. She has another opportunity. They would never do that. They do like a golden parachute. But using the word fired, I don't think they would do that.
She's not going anywhere. Listen, here's what's going to happen. This movie's not going to do well. Nobody's going to care. Ahsoka's going to kick some ass. It's going to be popular, and they're going to be like, okay, Ahsoka's doing okay, and then
All right,
she's
back
just going to
in.
stick around. She's not going anywhere. Everybody,
I
Until
think
she's
I
damn well and ready.
I think it could be a good move too to get some good press and investors happy again. I think a lot of people are not extremely happy with what she's been doing. I think there's a lot of room to criticize, and I don't think she's safe. I don't think they're going to use the word fired though. I think they'll work something out, like she wants to move on, retire, or she's happy to leave. She's also been the head for quite a while. How many years now?
What?
For a long time, I guess.
When did what did that come out? 2006, 2000, something like that.
Quit your griping. As
Yeah,
long as
she's
the
got
ratings
enough.
matters.
She's got enough simps out there that she's not going anywhere.
Okay. Well, all right.
Does
Well,
she
let's
have
see.
merch?
Kathy merch?
Oh yeah, she does.
Or Grace?
No, Kathy.
Yeah,
She
it's
does.
the Forces female t-shirt.
I think it's time to get a Kathy shirt.
Kathy Kennedy t-shirt. Okay.
I'll buy that.
All right.
Likely because of her relationships in the business. Fans do not care for Kathleen Kennedy, and that's partially her own fault. Another thing you might remember, in fact, for some of you, I'm sure it's seared in your brain when she was so aggressive against the original Star Wars fans, saying that she didn't owe them anything. Why did she say that? I wonder how she feels about that now.
It's not. I understand what she was saying. That could have been worded a lot better, and I think I feel like you should try harder to appeal to everyone.
I count
You know?
it as a hot.
Maybe
take.
that's what she's saying there, though. I don't just need to cater to male Star Wars fans. I need to cater to everyone. Maybe
No,
that's
but the
exactly
way
what she's saying.
she lacked a lot of tact there. It doesn't
Oh.
offend me. I'm not a snowflake.
Oh.
There's a lot of men. No, I'm not a snowflake. Voltaire, does this
What the
offend
heck?
you, or do you just realize that this isn't great PR for?
But
that's gonna get this
did you hear what Perp said? Right?
What?
It's different than what the quote was. Perp, what did you just say?
No, that the quote doesn't necessarily, like, it could be agreeing that is for everyone. She doesn't need to cater to strictly male fans. It could be saying that.
But you're adding to. That's not what she said.
I'm saying says she doesn't need to
100%
cater.
her intent. That's what Perp is right. That's 100% her intent.
Can I say something real quick? Quote from the great master of none, Brian: "The Crystal Skull killed interest in a sequel." He is correct.
Yeah,
Can I have some of that copium, please?
Ha ha ha.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see what else she says here.
She's an artist.
But says she doesn't need to cater to male Star Wars fans. I would love to see the exact quote, because this isn't the exact. This is a headline, so you'd have to get the receipts there to see exact. I remember that it was not. It lacked tact, though. That's for sure. It was a little Brie Larson-y, and I like Brie Larson, but she's not in charge of a whole franchise. She's just a star. She's just an actress. So it's different when I think a president of a whole universe should be a little more tactful, you know?
But she does have a lot of connections and respect in the industry. And she did deliver several billion-dollar films early on in her run. So I think those are the things that have been keeping her safe up until now. Maybe they could talk her into stepping down for personal reasons, like a lot of the recent Disney people are. Some of them aren't fired. Some of them step down, like Disney CFO Christine McCarthy did. That was a big one. If Christine McCarthy can step down for personal reasons, so can Kathleen Kennedy. To be honest,
hang on, sorry, we didn't cover that on this channel.
Yeah, I found the quote.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me,
Okay.
13 billion. Damn.
1 second. Pop-ups.
The full quote.
Yes.
Male-hating Kathy's full quote. Well, she married a male. She can't hate men.
Yeah.
All right. Do you see that? I have a responsibility to the company that I work with. I don't feel that I have a responsibility to cater in some way. I would never just seize on saying, well, this is a franchise that's appealed primarily to men for many, many years, and therefore I owe men something. There you go.
That's a little bit. It's a little better, but it's still not the best. But it's better than it was presented.
Bruce for bringing the receipts. Yeah,
No,
that's certainly not as bad.
That's not as bad.
I like to have proof.
No. That's not as bad. But you know, All right.
Yeah, but back to what I was saying, like we didn't cover that on this channel, but that lady who left that she's referencing, what was she? The Disney or Lucasfilm head of diversity or something like that. That's who
I
Grace
don't
is
know.
talking. She
I have
left
no
like
idea.
she left for personal reasons. Like it was like 3 weeks ago.
I
Not
thought they got rid of her job because they were scaling back, and it was her job was repetitive. They already have someone in that role in another part of the studio.
I don't
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
Well, they certainly have to make some hard decisions. All the streamers overspent during the pandemic. All of them. They all have to make some hard decisions now. You know, it only reached a certain amount. They're not consistently growing enough to substantiate all the expenses. Okay.
Contract. There's just again a year left on it. They'll give her a producing deal at Disney, like Amy Pascal got when she was forced to step down as the head of Sony after her emails leaked as part of that scandal. Or go back. Kathleen Kennedy could go back to working with Spielberg because that seemed to work. And her production company with husband Frank Marshall, which often also works with Spielberg. They both started out working with Spielberg, in fact. And some of the movies they've done on their own are not bad. I recently rewatched Seabiscuit like in the last year, and that was pretty solid, particularly as a rewatch, I have to say. She just seems to be
Wait, what's that, Jeff?
I just realized I just watched Who's Roger Rabbit last night.
Who's Roger Rabbit?
Yeah,
Okay.
I watched that last night because that was also a Spielberg project, and it had Frank Marshall who helped.
Oh, yeah.
helped out. Yeah,
I love that movie.
me too.
You have a dog? Who has a dog?
I do. It's my dog
Ah.
Bandit.
Yes, you got the same problem I do.
Little
Bandit.
Bandit.
Oh, now she's passed out though. Okay.
really bad at Lucasfilm. I mean, Dave Filoni is keeping Star Wars on life support just fine. I think he can keep it alive for another year. And they could search. They could do an executive search. Although I'll tell you who I think should run it in a minute. It's Dave Filoni. But hold on, with a star, with an asterisk. All right. So anyway, I'm almost done with Star Wars Rebels, which is
Tell me
amazing.
you wouldn't like to
guys
go
were
for
right.
drinks
It's so
with Grace. Who wouldn't like to go
Absolutely.
for drinks with Grace? Come on. Go
Absolutely.
to happy hour. You know, she's a fun gal.
Yes. Yes. I like how much she loves movies. Absolutely. Talking about movie math.
freaking good. I'm so much more excited about Ahsoka now, especially after Rosario Dawson recently confirmed it's basically Rebels season 5.
Yes.
I think it will be big, but then not a lot of people watched Rebels, unfortunately. Filoni's Star Wars animation.
Just so you guys know, I don't think we're going to watch the whole. I just wanted to see what she has to say.
Yeah.
I think about like 11 minutes in.
Barbie.
Fantastic, and it's the only thing keeping Star Wars alive at this point, but its viewership numbers actually aren't that big.
And effing criminal freedom.
However,
Dave Filoni is great.
especially with season 4 of Rebels. It's very
He
much
stole
like
my heart.
Mandalorian. I'm like, wow, that Mandalorian was certainly cut from this same cloth, and that went over very well. Even with
Jeff, have you been watching Mandalorian?
No, I have not. But I might.
All right,
definitely
nice
wanna
being
check it
on the
out.
team. You know, you have some homework to do. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
You said-
Hopefully we'll watch more. You'll be watching more content when you collab with us, and then you'll get us into more game stuff.
Oh
Be
yeah,
able to-
definitely.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
are you looking forward to Ahsoka? I'm
That
love.
looks like gonna be a fun show.
Okay, well maybe we'll watch it together.
All right.
We'll do a watch party for Ahsoka. Who's here's looking forward to Ahsoka? Perp, Taladia,
What about Ahsoka?
Voltaire.
What about
Yes,
Ahsoka?
I've been pumped for months.
Yes.
Man,
Oh no, I remember I remember one of those Rosario Dawson clip outs we did.
I'll wait for it on streaming.
There's a big
Yeah.
fan of Rosario Dawson.
Can we talk during if we're doing a watch stream though?
Yes.
Yeah.
We could talk. Okay, I'll do it.
Star Wars is easier to do watch parties for. Yeah, I've noticed that. Like
As long as I'm not shush.
Rings of Power. Who shushes you?
Whoa.
Perp's in a weird mood tonight.
I know.
He's in a hot
We
take
tw-
mood today.
I like
tried-
Perp like this.
We tried Lord of the Rings. It's a lot of people walking, and that was a hard watch party.
with people who weren't fans of Star Wars animation. So I hope Ahsoka works on 2 different levels as a Rebels season 5, but then also as a really good spinoff, hopefully, of The Mandalorian. Another thing in that same kind of Filoni live action space. If you would like to watch Rebels, which I highly recommend, especially since it's kind of slow right now, I've put a cheat sheet up several times on my Twitter feed. I'll do it again. I'll put it on my Instagram.
Rebels is great.
I'm almost done. I'll finish in the next week or so. It's taken me a month. I'm not watching every episode, but I am watching a lot of them. But it's fantastic. It's delightful homework. I absolutely adore it, and I again strongly recommend. It took me a while to get on board too, but I'm glad that I did. So I'm paying it forward to you. Watch Star Wars Rebels.
So what? She put up a cheat sheet with key
James
episodes.
May.
Is that what she's saying of Rebels? That's actually helpful to people who haven't watched it, because there's a lot of episodes and there's a lot of filler in that thing. So if you if you pick that third episode,
what about filling her?
Filler.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's definitely a criticism. A lot of the Star Wars animated shows, there's filler episodes.
That's nearly not enough. Have you seen anime? They do whole seasons of fillers.
Well, that's something I appreciate with streaming. Not all the time, but there's less filler when you're talking about companies trying to get syndicated shows and commercials and stuff. You know, I think it's sometimes made the content better.
Gold Star Wars movie. He, of course, having just directed this new Dial of Destiny. Whew, but another Star Wars movie canceled? I mean, this shit has gone way past.
That was great. This, man, I gotta have a belief that it's crazy. Another one canceled. How do you defend that, Christopher Perp? You know, it's another one canceled.
What was canceled?
Another Star Wars movie.
Yeah, Star Wars movies are hard.
I don't think it's that hard.
Not for me.
Sean Shear, we're crazy.
How many movies have you guys made?
0, but you put me in that writer's room, which seems really inept over there, I'd fix it.
I would feel better if Voltaire had some.
Of course you would.
Yes, and that's not hyperbole. That's not hyperbole.
He wants to be successful.
Like,
yeah.
No, I'd fix Star Wars easy.
He would fix it easy. All right.
Just give me full control over that writer's room. Go ahead.
Full control of the writer's room. Okay.
We should do it. We should do that. Why don't you write your version of Star Wars, and we do a reading.
Oh,
okay.
Public reading. Try that.
Leaf, and now we're at whatever, man. Like, you do you. We don't care anymore. And I think that attitude is also hurting the Lucasfilm brand for sure. People are like, let me know when we're done with this. It's like DC.
Yeah, I'm not going to say I love George Lucas. I'm not going to say he didn't hurt it himself a little bit too, but I love the prequels.
No.
And the Crystal Skull. No, don't dare. How dare you suggest that? I love them. The Star Wars movie that I've seen the most in the theater is The Phantom Menace.
Really?
Yes. Wow. Yes.
Oh, I feel sorry.
I thought you were going to say Revenge of the Sith or something.
No, I loved Revenge of the Sith, but I was so happy to get a new Star Wars and not just the special editions that I saw it like 10 times.
Good for you.
Wow.
Yeah. And there's a lot of great stuff in there.
Really?
Yes.
I'm glad you were able to find that.
The pod racing scene was freaking amazing on the
big
screen. Yes.
What?
That was so inventive. That was something different.
There was fantastic characters introduced in that film. I mean, Qui-Gon's amazing. Darth Maul's amazing. Like, there's some really good stuff in that film.
Hey, Sean O'Rourke got blocked by Grace 2 days ago.
Well, he was. There's.
What's going on there?
There's.
Why'd you block you?
I don't know.
Joe
was happy. Joe was happy about it.
A little bit. I think that Star Wars and DC are in very similar spaces. But at least the Filoni stuff is still kind of working. I love the end of Mandalorian season 3, but it wasn't as big as the earlier seasons. But yeah, I think people are just like, I can't take it anymore. I can't take the behind the scenes drama. I can't take the poor quality. And I think MCU is kind of like in that, starting to approach that same area as well. All right, so who should take over Lucasfilm? Well, again, after getting into Star Wars animation, incredible stuff that finally made me get Star Wars. I mean, I'm like, wow, I get this franchise now. I think the clear answer is Dave Filoni and some executive to work with him. I mean, I don't know if the Gunn Saffron combo is going to work out, but it's not a bad idea.
You made a
Oh,
comment.
no.
I don't think we watched the same film, Grace, that I was blocked.
Boom.
Oh, come on.
That's
Too
not
much.
that hard.
That's
You went overboard, Sean. You went overboard.
I'm surprised Grace is so quick with the block.
You know, it's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
suck that this movie's a colossal flop.
I don't want it to be a flop.
Oh, I'm just
I'm
saying, it's already
think-
a flop.
Yeah,
Well, let's see. Let's hear her.
Well,
movie
everything
math.
is.
Yeah,
She's gonna do.
exactly.
She's gonna do movie math in this.
Maybe
thing.
Everything's
I'll
a
see it.
flop.
Maybe I'll see it Thursday. I'm thinking.
Hollywood breaking records with their flops, but
Yep.
come on.
Heck yeah, they are.
Dia,
especially
on
with that
paper,
budget.
putting-
Wow.
That budget should never have been okayed. That was ridiculous.
So I guess
Yeah, well,
if-
Legacy project. This is artistic merit. Kathleen is based.
creative with a producer, so that the creative has a little bit more freedom to create themselves. I mean, Filoni has overseen his animated shows, which were quite prolific, and he did not write and
Woo.
direct every single episode. So he's able to pick other great talent and oversee them.
Wait a minute.
So he could certainly do that at a grander scale.
What?
The ratings for those animated films weren't that good, right? I mean, those series, correct? Is that what you said earlier?
Yes.
So why would you want him to take over the studio?
The ratings for the animated?
Yes, she said
Clone Wars?
it wasn't that high.
Oh.
Well, because it's animated. It's animated TV, and it was before Disney Plus. It was on like Disney XD and all these weird platforms. It was actually hard to find Rebels when it was new, Bruce. It wasn't super easy.
I don't know about this whole, like, now everyone's gonna be looking for a James Gunn. Like, Dave Filoni's learning how to direct live action. Now Grace is suggesting
Hey, Sean!
he jumps into a freaking studio exec position. This is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's ridiculous now.
This is ridiculous. Like, just because James Gunn did it with the help of the other guy doesn't. I hope studios don't start doing this bullshit of like hiring artists to do studio stuff.
Sean
like
wants
that.
to teach
Like,
us about budgets. And
Yeah.
Sean, I liked seeing your Twitter feed where you were at the theater in Indiana Jones hat and whip.
Yeah, I had the
I don't know
full
if you brought
costume on.
I don't know if you brought the whip to the theater, but you brought
I did.
okay.
I did. I brought that. The only thing I didn't bring was the gun and the holster. But no. I will say this. First of all, James Gunn has not proven himself as a studio head at all.
Okay.
Well,
Let's
yeah,
just-
there's been no movie.
yeah, that's
There's
another.
been no movies yet. So like the idea that like Filoni is not a studio head. Filoni is not going
Okay.
to want to be a studio head.
Yeah,
They are not going to offer studio head to Filoni.
What about
Period.
Favreau?
I think they would offer to him, but I don't think he'll take it.
Okay. Do you think Grace is in? I mean, Kathy is any real danger here if it is a big flop?
Listen, I don't think so.
Okay.
And her contract is still good till the end of 2024.
Mhm.
So I think she'll ride out her contract and get her golden parachute.
Yeah, ride it out. But do you think they'll renew her? That would be. I don't think they'll
I
renew
think
her.
she'll be 71 when her contract's up. I think she'll want to bow out.
Okay.
I don't believe she'll want to do this into her 75, another 5-year contract. There's no way. So I think she'll want to go back to producing movies with her husband and, maybe do another Bourne film or something like that. And I don't see her going forward. But I don't, if you look at everything she's done, whether we like what she's done, she's made a lot of money for Disney.
Mhm.
And that is how they look at it, because they look at it as show business. They don't look at it as everyone's upset because Indiana Jones got punched in the face. Like, they don't look at those things. They're looking at
We
numbers.
got a few people that's also seen the Dial of Destiny. Voltaire actually went to the theater. He decided to go. He was persuaded.
Yeah.
Somehow. And Sean, you've seen it. Did you? I didn't watch your review yet because I'm going.
I had a non-spoiler review. I haven't
Yeah.
done it. I was
Okay,
on
I'm gonna
with
check it out then.
I did like almost 2 hours with Jarbo the other night, and we just talked all about it.
Oh, okay.
But no, it's okay. I'm friends with everyone.
Yeah,
And
that's fine.
but I will say this. As far as the budget goes, this is the thing that just drives me insane as somebody who works in the film industry. I have a budget next to me for $3.5 million for a TV pilot that I'm trying to get off the ground, and they're not talking about the film incentives from state to state to state and country to country to country. So, for example, the UK, which is where they shot at Pinewood Studios, a huge portion of, they shot in Sicily, Italy, they shot in Morocco, and they shot in the UK. That's the 3 locations for this Indiana Jones film. In the UK, you get a 25% rebate on what you spend. Okay, just think about that for a second. So if you spend, $100 million, you're going to get 25% of that back. You're going to get 25 million back from the country of the of Great Britain. They're going to give it to you in a tax incentive. And then Morocco gives 40% back in a tax incentive. Now it's all based on their how much their dollar is worth towards the United States dollar. And then Morocco, then Italy has a film incentive as well, and that's where you hear about the budgets, and they may say it costs $300 million, but they include marketing in that, and they say, well, they spent $100 million in marketing, but here's where people just don't understand the business. And you got Grace out there and everyone else going nuts on TikTok. They spent $300 million on this movie. All right, you have to deduct what was given from the countries to offset that budget. And that's not even thought about. The other thing is $100 million in the United States, the IRS tax code, even for small businesses, marketing is 100% a write-off, period. If you spend $1 billion in marketing or you spend $50 in marketing, if you own a business and a corporation, it's completely 100% a write-off. They don't talk about that. Remember,
is that why Zaslav was more likely to market something than to pump more money into the movie?
They
like
want to get the write-off because then they can have a loss on their balance sheet and not pay taxes. This is the thing. These big, how you always hear people complaining about these big corporations, they never pay taxes because they do everything they can to get to a zero tax liability. And this is something they don't talk about. Marketing is 100% a write-off. So when they're trying to get to a net zero of tax liability, they already put into the yearly budget what they're going to spend for all their film slate, knowing they're going to lose it, and it's going to get them down to not have to pay any taxes on any of their profits. And that's what people don't understand. So when you hear them say, and the other thing is like Avatar, for example, Avatar 2, The Way of Water. In China, Disney spent $0. 99.99% of all marketing was paid for by China's version of Amazon because they tied in all the banners on their websites, commercials, all this other kind of stuff. The Chinese government paid for all marketing for Avatar, The Way of Water in China. So when people are always talking about, well, in this country or that country, they don't understand movie economics and how it works. And it drives me insane when I hear people like Grace or people like anyone on TikTok. They spent $300 million on this movie and more, they're crazy. And here's the other thing. Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah. They did all their visual effects, special effects in Canada. Why did they do that in Canada? Do you want to know why they did it in Canada? Because Canada, the Canadian government gives 40% back in all post-production and visual effects costs if you bring a movie to that country. So now you think about Sony. Sony does Into the Spider-Verse, cost $250 million. They got almost half that back from Canada in a check.
There's still a lot we don't. Thank you, man. There's a lot we don't realize.
And that's what frustrates me about the discussions. Is like, I can't be on everyone's stream. I can't get on Variety and say, hey, why didn't you talk about tax incentives in your article when you bashed The Flash or you bashed this, that, and the other? And now you know why when there's the merger and they're talking about Zaslav's trying to get to $3 billion in write-offs and losses, which is why he canned the Batgirl. They're trying to get to zero tax liability so that they don't have to pay any taxes on any profit. And that's the God honest truth about the film industry. And that's why you ever hear the term creative film accounting?
Yeah, creative accounting, yeah.
They never explain it, but I'm explaining it.
Okay.
This is the clever accounting.
All right.
So anyway, I needed to say that because Grace, and again, she blocked me the other. All right, she on her post about Indiana Jones, I just said, "Hey," I didn't curse. I actually, that's the exact quote. I was like, I don't know what movie you watched, but it wasn't the same one I watched, Grace. Boop, that was it.
Wow.
And
That's
I've had private conversations with her in the DMs. I actually sent her an email and to remind her of our past conversations. And I was like, why did you block me? What is your problem? Like, I don't even get it. And she hasn't responded, but it was a private email, not on Twitter. It was a private email to her privately because we've talked in the past. It was weird. I think she might've thought I was a bot and just, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway, it was weird. So
yeah,
I'm done with my rant. You guys can get back into the conversation.
I've talked to her too. I don't know. Grace, why? No, I'm just kidding. I know why she blocked me. No, but
Anyway.
that's great. I still think that they overspent, but you're right. There's other ways that they could offset that I'm not thinking of. The movie that expensive, over $300
yeah, but
million.
also remember it shut down because of COVID.
That's true. Okay.
And when you shut down a movie over COVID, all the location agreements have to be renegotiated. All the hotels have to be canceled, and the hotels have to be rebooked. There's so much that goes into a movie shutting down that it costs more money. Like even the small movie I did with Mel Gibson, which was like I think we had like a $16 million budget. We shut down for 14 days because of COVID. They had to go find a hedge fund to give them more money to finish the movie because they were completely over budget at that point to try to come back after the 14-day shutdown because they had to redo everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big expensive cost. Now that's not happening anymore, but
how was Mel Gibson?
He was great.
Yeah. Sean's told me a few times that Mel is great to meet in real life. He's he's a good person.
Yeah.
Of course, there's the stuff in his history, but I'm not going to judge him just on that. I don't know.
You don't know what's going on between a man and his wife. And all
Listen,
that.
I was his personal driver for 2.5 weeks on the film. He would sit in the front seat next to me and we talked going to and from set. And then he took me out to Ruth's Chris and we ate dinner together. And
that's great.
And I'm
Robert Downey Jr. is another person that completely goes to bat for Mel. He helped him out when he was in dire need.
Well, Mel said to me, I'll say this, these were private conversations, but he said, I'm 12 years sober. And every time I do an interview, they bring up the stuff from 15 years ago. And he goes, he was like, when do I get to move on?
Did you talk to him about Apocalypto? It's one of my favorite films.
I did not. We talked about Braveheart and we talked about Lethal Weapon 5, which he told me everything that happens in Lethal Weapon 5 and they haven't filmed it yet because he's supposed to direct it. I think it's gotten lost in this whole thing with Zaslav and the shuffling around and all the movies and stuff because he's went on to go do a movie with Mark Wahlberg. He said to me he had 4 movies left to do before he retires after The Passion of the Christ 2. He's doing the sequel to that. And when he finishes that one, he says he's retiring because he's 66 now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's getting up there and he's made his money, but no, I mean, like everybody, there's good things and there's bad things, but there were things that just kind of blew my mind about him. For the last 40 plus years, he has a fund where they help kids, underprivileged kids, get surgeries in other countries, cleft lips, that kind of stuff, and free of charge. He just but no one talks about all the charity work that he does, the tons of money. I was sitting next to him and he was on the phone. We're going to set one day and he's on the phone with somebody. I don't know who he's talking to. He puts the phone down and it was a weird conversation. And then he turns to me and he says, he's like, I'm talking with people in Syria. Now here we are in North Carolina shooting a movie, going to set in the vehicle. And he's saying, I'm talking to people in Syria because I'm helping people because and donating money because they're murdering and raping the women and children that are Christian once Syria fell, and like anyway, it gets political at that point. But the thing is, like, here he is on the phone giving like support to people trying to save people's lives all the way across the globe, and then we get to set, and he gets out of the car, and he's got the script, and he goes straight to work, and they had no idea that that's what he was doing prior to getting out of the car. And so, like, you have to weigh things, you know, you have to weigh them. And remember, just like the news, all this stuff gets sensationalized, and people get dragged through the mud. They love to see you rise, and love to see you fall.
He obviously had problems. Me personally, I'm just not going to judge him saying that that's what's in his heart too, when he was intoxicated and very. I'm not going to say it's what he actually believed. I don't know. I'm not. It's
and look, we all have that crazy uncle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's kind of like you got to take, and he comes from a different generation, you know, because he is, you know, 66, and he thinks differently than the people think today. And you have to weigh those things when you look at people before you just blanket judging people. I don't know. I'm not saying anything he did was justified, and I don't think he would say anything he did was justified. But I think that people need to have a little bit more grace and not Randolph.
Good segue back to Grace.
Yeah.
I'm interested what he does next. Okay. I'm not going to blame people that don't forgive me either. I'm not getting involved with that, but whatever.
No, people can hold their grudge if they want to.
Wait, sorry. Did he call you sugar tits?
No, he didn't. That's hilarious though.
Well, I want to find out what happened with this. Sean, you got a lot of heat for the Flash coverage on your channel, including the box office, but you were right about the box office.
I was right about it. I know. I tried telling people.
You know, and you had to do disclaimer. I'm not a Snyder bro.
Yeah, because I'm not. Like, there are.
But I really enjoyed the Flash, though. I enjoyed the Flash.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah,
I saw you exit the theater with sunglasses on, and I was like, "That's his face? What?"
Yeah, that's.
You're disappointed? Oh,
okay. No, I was like, because you don't know. I mean, in my head, I had this whole, you know,
did you have any
disfigured kind of thing? I didn't know what you look like underneath. You could have been like a mongoloid or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, did you have any predictions on the Indiana Jones box office? Is this shocking anyone?
This is not shocking me at all. It's what I thought it was going to make. I was thinking anywhere from 60 to 80 million. And I think they're going to say after the 4th of July, it's 81 million, and then 150 million worldwide. So,
okay.
And it's only got 2 weeks to make any other money. And then Mission Impossible is going to crush everything.
Oh, I'm seeing Mission Impossible right away.
Yeah.
Brucifer, Talati, or Perp, you shocked by this box office for Indiana Jones?
No, I did not feel the buzz for Indiana Jones. Like I said, I felt this is something Kathleen wanted to do. You know, she's grown up with this series. You know, she started her humble beginnings from the series. So I think she wanted to do this for herself and for Harrison. So I don't think she cares about the box office.
And that's the thing. I don't think Bob Iger, I don't think any of them care. Harrison really pushed for this movie. I think people didn't realize how much he was pushing for it.
They even wanted it in Cannes, you know, like they wanted this movie for themselves.
Well, Crystal Skull premiered at the Cannes Film Festival.
Oh, it did? Oh.
Yeah.
There was even rumors that suggestions that he did Rise of Skywalker, came back again because they promised him Indiana Jones 5.
You know, I wouldn't doubt it, but at the same time with Rise of Skywalker, you got to remember Harrison Ford really cared about Carrie Fisher, and you know, they had a fling which broke up Harrison Ford's marriage on the 77 film. I mean, Carrie Fisher talks all about it in her book, and they loved each other. And so I can't imagine if J.J. Abrams and all them said, God, look, you know, we don't have Carrie. Can you come back? And I'm sure he was like, absolutely. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what she says about this box office. This is not anything I want to hear. Like, I was unsure if I'm going to see this. I'm still not sure, but I don't want to hear movies doing bad.
Scale for Lucasfilm and Star Wars overall. I mean, he is George Lucas's chosen heir. I mean, they should have gone with him in the first place, but he didn't have the experience, I think. And they felt that Kennedy did have that really strong relationship with Lucas and Spielberg. I mean, on paper, Kennedy made sense as well, but then it was just so awful. So awful. Oh my God. All right.
So awful.
So let's take a look at Dial of Destiny's actual box office. A domestic opening of 60 and a worldwide debut of 130. It ain't good, but it's not horrible. Let's talk about it. So the real problem, though, is that Kathleen Kennedy let the budget balloon to over $300 million.
I see. Now I'm going to have Sean O'Rourke in my head.
No, this is just where she's just wrong. That's all. It's okay.
Yeah. No, that should be considered when and whenever you do these franchise movies, it raises all ships, like box sets, physical media. Like everyone goes and watches the first 4 too. You know, everyone's rewatching. That's the other thing you always get reboots and sequels. Everything starts making money again, and you get even the angry ones. I only like the first 3, and they go buy the first 3 again in 4K. You know, so that's it. There's other stuff that you can make money off this too, but yeah, they would probably want this to do better.
For advertising. So this movie will never make its money back. It would barely make its money back if it hit $1 billion. So that was just really poor. I mean, again, I don't think she's wearing a business hat either, because that's bad business.
Well, for Sean O'Rourke to get back on the soapbox again with her and the Ryan Kindles of the world and the Valiant Renegades of the world, saying, you know, there's got to be a reason they still make these movies, even if it doesn't seem financially viable to us, like the normies. There's got to be a reason. There's got to be something that we're not thinking of, that they keep making these movies, even if it looks bad to us.
Yes, 0 tax liability.
Yeah.
Look, Hulu, which is owned by Disney, makes $12 billion a year, and they don't want to pay taxes on that. Mm-hmm. So I mean, like, they own ESPN. There's 250 different companies and sub companies under the Disney umbrella, and they all need to say they have 0 tax liability. Anyway, go ahead. I digress.
Yeah.
And also, the opening of Crystal Skull over a decade ago was at $100 million, not accounting for inflation. So that proves that the movie could have opened bigger, you know, if it was operating at maximum capacity. Now, sure, Dial of Destiny was trying to build on Crystal Skull, which fans hated. So you could say, well, it had to account for that damage that was done to the
Brian's the comments there, yeah.
But still, it's been over a decade. I mean, it didn't open at like 80 or 75. Like, it opened at 60. And initially, fans were excited to see Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones one last time. You know, everybody's on a nostalgia kick right now. Let's go. Also, a lot is being said about, Indiana Jones is an older skewing franchise now. So what could be done with it? And I don't think that's the case. I think a lot could be done with it. I think with a stronger cast and more upbeat story, this would have been a strong family play. Indiana Jones is still quite popular at the theme parks, for example. And also, Kathleen Kennedy failed to cast a wide enough net of appeal. 54% Caucasian, as we discussed last week. Anything above the 40 percentile for Caucasian means you don't have broad enough appeal. And when you have a huge budget movie like this, you need to get everybody into the multiplex. An 18% Hispanic is particularly low for modern audiences. I mean, that the Black audiences number is very low, but Hispanic is usually in the 20s, the 20th percentile, sometimes now even in the 30th. So that's really, really low.
I'll say this: if Antonio Banderas had been, instead of Phoebe Waller-Bridge, his foil throughout the film, that 18% and South America sale, all that would have just tripled. Oh yeah, absolutely. Missed opportunity with Antonio.
Would have been a much better movie if it was Antonio Banderas instead of her.
Absolutely.
I do think, besides Mads Mikkelsen, which I always like, I do think the cast of Crystal Skull was a little more exciting. Like, Shia LaBeouf still had some star power. Kate Blanchett.
Yep. Kate Blanchett was great, although
very good.
It was a little,
yeah.
I would have rather her not done the sword fighting thing with. Anyway.
Yeah. I still like Crystal Skull. It's not my favorite. I enjoy it though. We're almost wrapping up here. And then we got to get the Perp and the Flash because Perp did see the Flash. I want to talk to him about it. He's been waiting so
Phoebe
patiently.
Waller-Bridge didn't bring in any women.
Yes.
Now, the B+ cinema score isn't awful. It's the lowest you can get before it's full-on panic for a movie. It has a pretty solid audience score on Rotten
That's
Tomatoes
good.
as well. And
That's
with an
good.
opening in line with Mission Impossible Fallout and No Time to Die, also a tremendous downer, maybe Dial of Destiny could get to the 700 million range like those two films. That would put it on par with Crystal Skull, not accounting for inflation, but it wouldn't look so bad in the charts, right? Although with its insane budget, again, it still wouldn't turn a profit. It still has the 4th of July holiday to go this week and another full weekend after that before the new Mission Impossible hits. I wonder if they'll do damage to each other, by the way. Because again, as I said, they're very similar in terms of the pacing and the action.
Yeah, but you have to give credit to Tom Cruise. And Tom Cruise is not as old as Harrison's, of course, but you have a de-aged older star versus a star that gets hurt trying to do his own stunts. And I think that I'm not saying that I want people to get hurt, but it's a different experience.
Actors get hurt all the time. I'm sure Harrison Ford got hurt.
No, he
set.
did actually get hurt just
Yeah.
walking on set.
So there you go.
Well, that
No,
was
I'm kidding.
that was The Force Awakens when he broke his leg on The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
But this movie, he tore his rotator cuff and he was out for 3 weeks.
Boom.
Which
Now you
also-
got to see it, Max. Now you got to see it in theaters, Max.
Which also, and that was in a rehearsal. He was throwing a punch at a stunt guy in a rehearsal and tore his rotator cuff.
I'm sorry, I don't want to laugh at that, but
No, but people forget.
guy.
Look, Temple of Doom. Harrison Ford was out for almost the entire film. He
Oh,
ruptured
really? I
a
didn't know
disc in
that.
his back, and if you watch all the stuff in the mine shaft, the fight with the thuggy, the swinging on the bridge, the only thing you see are close-ups of Harrison Ford because Vic Armstrong did all the stunt double work in the entire fight scene. And he was out for such a huge. They didn't think they were going to finish the movie Temple of Doom. He had to have back surgery on his vertebra, and he was laid up in India, and he had to be flown back to the Western world to get surgery on his back. And so they kept filming, but a lot of it, if you go back and watch, you only see Harrison Ford in close-ups during all the action stuff because
I'm thinking about seeing this Thursday. I'm thinking about it. That's the only time I could really.
Yeah.
Thursdays are different.
I will say this about what Grace is saying here. What she fails to realize is Mission Impossible is Paramount and Indiana Jones is a co-production with Disney Paramount. So Paramount is going to make money from both
Regardless.
movies
Okay.
over this. And so right away, she said, yeah.
And then
Mr. Impossible. It's like
And
Paramount.
then they're making a
double
lot of
win.
marketing. They're spending a lot of marketing money right now too. Okay. Yeah.
Ton of money for Paramount.
All right. I'm thinking about Perp. I want to talk to you. Are you going to see a Perp?
Probably not. I'm gonna wait.
Oh!
Digital.
What about you, Brucifer? What do you think?
I still haven't seen Crystal Skull.
Well, you could just go right into this, couldn't you?
You don't need to see. Well, you don't really need to see Crystal Skull, other than the fact that they explain what happened to Mutt, his kid, his son. So, but you don't have to see Crystal Skull.
You can just watch the first 30 minutes of Crystal Skull. Those were pretty good.
There's a lot to love about Crystal Skull, and there's a lot not to like. So, but I kind of feel like it's a similar situation with this one.
We'll only watch a minute more, I promise.
Spider-Verse could take back a few premium screens this coming
she's
weekend,
almost
but
done
with that
talking
movie
about
already
it.
5 weeks out, Indy should be able to hold on to most of its premium screens until Mission Impossible the following Wednesday. Although Mission Impossible will open overseas in some countries July 8th, but for the most part, it opens July 12th. But then it's Barbenheimer time.
Barbenheimer.
I just hate
Joe,
when she does this. Anyway,
Joe's here to talk about. Joe, how many times have you seen Indiana Jones?
Dial of Destiny?
Yeah.
Twice.
Okay.
Based.
I'm going to be seeing it a third time with my daughter, though. My daughter just got back. She's been away for a week.
Okay.
And we actually literally just finished watching Kingdom of the Crystal Skull because it was the only one she hadn't seen, and I needed to get her up to speed.
Okay.
Yeah, I plan on going back a few more times too. I've got some other
Oh, really?
relatives that want to see it. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
On the big screen. Are you kidding me? Yeah, it's great.
I'm thinking about potentially I'll try to. My dad's not been to the theater since the pandemic. He's high risk, but if I get him in a handicapped seat, because he's also handicapped, in double mast or something, I can maybe get him to see it. I don't know. Might take him.
Well, after next week, it'll fall off audience wise. You could probably get him in there with maybe 10 people in the cinema. So I'd try it. Yeah.
I'd say it's the second best movie out in theaters right now.
Besides The Flash.
Yes, I do need to see The Flash a fifth time, but
okay. And Voltaire going to see it. I feel like left out now. Even Voltaire saw it, and Voltaire wasn't really hyped for this movie. So
no, I was talked into it. Yeah.
But what's your thoughts, Voltaire? What did you like it?
It was I rated a 6. It was
6 out of 10.
Yeah, it's got the I feel like and tell me I know Joe you love it, but Sean, tell me your opinion too. I feel like there was a foundation for a really good movie there, but they just didn't quite execute it for me.
I think for me, and I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan. This needed to be a 2-hour movie. 224. We didn't need the 20. The action sequences sometimes went a little too long, and I feel like things could have been shaved down. And all the other Indiana Jones films are not pushing 3 hours, and I just think that I'm tired of going to a movie and seeing 3-hour films. It's just with previews. It's just
there
getting
was some
ridiculous.
editing. There's some editing stuff in there too. Like it was too long. I feel like the underwater stuff was too long, and there's a lot of dark stuff, like dark shots in this movie. Am I wrong about that? Just felt like there's too much dark.
Well, I think the dark stuff had a lot to do with hiding the de-aging, especially in the
de-aging look better.
It's not good. It's not good.
Okay.
I agree that it's too long, but to me, there's one scene in particular that just sticks out like a sore thumb that's got to go, and that's the flashback scene where they tell you the story early in the movie of, don't you remember the last time I saw you?
Yeah.
Then they show it to us, but they don't give us any new information. It's literally everything they told us. So it's like, why did we need to rehash this? We already knew this.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree with that 100%, other than they were just showing off with the de-aging stuff. And that was the first time in any Indiana Jones film where halfway through the film, you just got a flashback. That did never happened before, and I just don't think it was needed. Yeah, I agree 100%.
There was editing issues, and there's some things in the movie that made me think, like these rumors that there was like several endings shot, and they changed them around. There was some inconsistency.
I believe there was another ending, and I believe, and again, Harrison Ford, I just watched an interview with him 2 days ago where he said he is the one that suggested that he be in his underwear with a glass of in his hand, like a being drunk, and all. He said it on the press junket. He said he came up with the idea because that's what he wanted people, when it did a hard cut to 1969, to not understand what was going on and to be invested in the story, to see it unfold, to understand why he was where he was in his life. And I was like, wow, so that wasn't Kathleen Kennedy, that was Harrison Ford.
Okay.
And then you hear
that, to be fair, I would have blamed her too. Yeah.
And then
or Phoebe.
James Mangold went on to say that Harrison Ford was very instrumental in the script, along with George Lucas. And the other thing, he said that Harrison would always contribute things like, how can I make something better than what it is on the paper? And the scene where he punches Mads Mikkelsen and he's de-aged in the beginning of the film, the way it read in the script, James Mangold said it. I watched it today. He said there was no hat in front of him and he punched through the hat. It was written that he just punches him in the face. And Harrison said, how about I just hold the hat up so he doesn't see it coming, and then punch through the face?
I like that.
And they did it, and they loved it, and they used it. And Harrison Ford is very, very instrumental in making this film, shaping the script, shaping the stories. And I think he wasn't happy with the ending. And that's when they added this thing with if you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it, but they changed. I believe he was absolutely instrumental in how that ending happened
and how it ended. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you think
So,
you had a lot of input there.
so
Okay.
Harrison and George Lucas had a lot of input in this movie.
Yes, according to
Okay.
James Mangold.
Okay.
Yep.
And it wasn't just the female women agenda with Kathy and Phoebe Waller. I'm just saying.
Did you
No.
did you see the tweet I put out earlier today, Max?
No.
I put out a tweet that said Doomcock in 1981. It's
Oh yeah.
and he's complaining that Raiders of the Lost Ark is woke and that Marion is the bestest ever.
Yeah, but was Marion punching dudes out, knocking them out with one punch? Like,
Wait a second.
Drank a guy under the table.
Wait a second. Marion drank a guy under the table, and when she
Yeah.
first sees Harrison Ford for the first time since she was a teenager, she punches him right in the face.
Yeah, but does she knock bad guys
Wait
out
a
with
second.
one punch?
Wait a second. Willie Scott in Temple of Doom, when Harrison Ford rescues her from the lava and unclasps her, what does she do? He goes, Willie, he shakes her. Whack! It's one of the hardest smacks you've ever heard in the Indiana Jones franchise, and it whips his head around, and then he shakes her and goes, Willie, it's me, I'm back. It's not like women haven't punched him in the past. And here, the difference between what happened in this movie, and I don't want to give away any spoilers, is he's 70 years old.
But I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. There, bad guys come at Phoebe Waller-Cates in this movie. This is not a spoiler, and she knocks them out like she's Wonder Woman with one punch, one elbow. There's a scene where she's hanging off a cliff. She's hanging off a cliff, and there's a man hanging off of her, and she's strong enough.
Wait, you don't think women can knock men out?
Hey, do you remember?
You need to watch some TikTok videos, dude.
Hey, listen, no, reals. Hey, go back and watch Temple of Doom. Go to the mine car scene, and remember when the thuggy guard was on the back of the mine car and punched Harrison Ford and knocked him down. And what did Willie Scott do? Punched him in the face, and the guy fell on the tracks and was hit by the other. Dude, I mean, like Willie punched him now, and she was a damsel in distress. She wasn't even like Marion Ravenwood, and she punched that thuggy right in the face and killed him. So I mean, I think people want to see what they want to see, and they aren't looking at the actual story.
No, I was looking at the story. That stood out to me that a 115-pound woman is knocking people out left, right, and center.
I think that some of it was hard to swallow, but at the same time, this is what you have to remember. Temple of Doom was a prequel. It took place in 1935. So Willie Scott was a damsel in distress. She was a product of her time. Then during World War II, 1936, you have Marion Ravenwood, Rosie the Riveter, arm pulled up with the sleeve, ready to fight the Nazis. She was a product of her time. This particular character, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, 1969, the civil rights movement, the feminist movement, the women were taking off their bras and burning them in the streets, leading into the 1970s. She was a product of her time. This strong type of woman was written for 1969. And the fact that people don't understand their history and can't look back at the other heroines and go, oh, I get it. She was a damsel in distress. She was Rosie the Riveter. Here we have 1969 feminists. But if you look at the movie and you pay attention to the film, she has the same character arc as Harrison Ford did in Temple of Doom. She started off as a grave robber, and at the end, she realized there was more to the antiquities and preserving history.
Yeah, I'm okay with all of that.
And so for me, I think people aren't paying attention to the tropes from the other movies, because if you do, you'd get it.
Let's be real. Unless you're Mike Tyson, no one just throws TKOs everywhere either. Even men either, like, just knocks people out with one punch.
Well, look, Scarlett Johansson weighs what?
No, this is gonna get a stream taken down. This is violence.
Listen,
Crucifer.
Listen, Scarlett Johansson in all of the Avengers movies, all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, has no superpowers. She's not a super soldier. She hasn't had serum in her,
right.
And she's flipping and knocking people over and doing all this stuff. And
she's also a highly trained in every single martial arts and fighting thing. If you read the comics, like
understood.
Yeah,
but you can't tell me that everything she does, even if she's highly trained Come on. half
I
the
mean,
stuff she
yeah,
does
no, I
is
know, but like at least there's a backstory that's believable. Phoebe Waller-Cates is a archaeology PhD candidate, weighs 115 pounds in
That's true.
1969. She's not
Well-
a spy who's been trained to fight from like.
But
was a
she's
teenager
also
child.
sleeping with gangsters for money, auctioning off priceless things in seedy clubs with people. So she's not who you think she is. It's not that cut and dry. It's just not.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Well, that's something to think about. Perp. The Flash.
What happened?
The Flash. I'm ready to talk about the Flash.
Finally.
Joe's favorite movie. I don't know if Sean wants to stay for that. Sean, you still haven't seen the Flash?
I haven't. I don't care. I saw it all on Twitter. All the clips,
go.
all the cameos. I don't need to go pay money to go see that in the theater. I've already
Okay,
seen
so
it.
Flash opened at 55 and Indiana Jones opened at 60, right? Am I remembering correctly, Max?
The Flash
Close,
opened
then.
slightly higher by 100,000
I love
Flash
these
was higher.
worldwide.
I love these
worldwide.
jackasses on
Oh,
Twitter. Like
me?
I got these jackasses on Twitter. They're like,
Yeah, me.
the Flash isn't good because it didn't make money, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's how we judge quality now. How much a movie makes. It's like those shitty Michael Bay Transformers movies.
Yeah, nobody's
made
here.
Oh,
saying-
come
Wait a
on.
second.
Don't bring
Now
him
you
up.
brought-
You
now
don't need to
crossed
do
the
that.
line.
You
Now
don't need
crossed
to
the
do that.
Citizen Kane was
You don't
a
need to bring that
failure.
man up.
You got a Bay fan here.
Michael Bay's
Joe.
a saint. You hear me, Joe? He's a
I know
saint.
he's not a
Don't bring
saint.
him up.
No, Dorothy
Not a saint.
Mantooth
How
was a saint.
old was what's her
Yeah,
name?
but Joe, you use that
Lauren
argument
Hart.
how much a movie does as a defense to it when you say it's good.
When
you
do I
can't
do
go
that?
either.
When have I ever done that?
I do.
All the sequel trilogy Star Wars movies, Joe. You say
Joe, I
look
do-
how much
I
money
do-
it
No,
I
no.
do
No,
think-
Joe
No,
uses
that's
that
not
to
a question.
Kathleen Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy,
Yeah,
when
that-
you're saying she's not doing her job, and as a studio exec, she is.
Yeah, that's a different argument. The
Yes.
argument is, has Kathleen Kennedy been successful when
Yes,
your
in
movies
her
have
job,
made,
her specific
when you've
job.
made
yes.
billions of dollars for the studio, you've been
Mhm.
successful.
Yeah, that's how they look at it. They don't look at it in any
Yeah, but
other
they don't
way.
look at it that each subsequent sequel
But-
trilogy movie made less money.
Nor should
They-
they.
they-
But
Why
Joe,
wouldn't they look at that? Why wouldn't they?
Because if your argument is, hey, this movie only made 1 billion, not 2 billion, therefore it's a failure. Well, quite frankly, you're an idiot. Because if a movie made $1 billion,
You know what,
it's
Joe?
not
If
a
you think that they ignore the reduction, you're an idiot for thinking that.
No,
Well,
I
listen,
don't
listen.
care.
Hold on.
We're all
Whoa,
idiots.
come on,
here.
guys.
I gotta jump in
Can't we
here
all
on this
just
one.
be idiots?
Oh,
I got to
okay.
jump in on this one.
Okay.
Guys, every sequel to the original Star Wars made less money than the first.
Yep.
Okay. Every even the prequel films made less money after the Phantom Menace came out. The next one made less money. The next one. It is a trend in Hollywood. Period. You have exceptions to the rule, like
MCU 's the
Top
only
Gun
one that-
Maverick or
yeah.
MCU, but sequels never make the money the first one makes. And it's very rare. Now, very rare meaning like John Wick 4 made more money than the original because that was like not even supposed to be a franchise. Like that was a one-hit wonder, and they were like, "Oh, let's make more." And they
That
got
was
better
supposed to
and
be a
better.
direct-to-video movie. It was supposed to go direct-to-video.
But
Yeah,
the
The
rule
festival,
of thumb,
it had a festival run, and it got huge word of mouth just on festivals, and people were like,
Yeah.
"Okay, let's put this in theaters."
look, rule of thumb, the sequels never make the money. I don't know where this thought process came once movies hit $1 billion that every movie has to make $1 billion. That is not the case. And we've got to shake that mentality about franchises too.
I agree with that to an extent. Yes, most of them they don't make as much.
We did go through a phase for a while there where I called it the part 2 rule, where part 2 in a franchise seemed to gross the most. I don't know if that's because we were in the DVD era. I don't know if it was people were watching the first one on DVD and being like, "Hey, I like this." But it was like Spider-Man 2, X-Men 2. It was like a phase we went through where it seemed like part 2 in a franchise was always the highest grossing.
Yeah. You mentioned the two bangers though. Those two movies dunked on the originals in my opinion.
There was a lot though during that
Yeah, but
time.
then-
Austin Powers.
T2, Aliens.
Well, T2 is an anomaly, man, because remember the first movie had a budget of $11 million. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it was
it's
a
like-
horror film.
Jeez.
It was a horror film, like,
Yeah.
and then the second one, I think it had $150 million budget and went on to just blow up. But remember, Arnold had quite a few hits between those that built up his star power. So when Terminator 2 came around, that was like a whole new thing. And that, again, look, James Cameron is like the only guy that can just continuously strike, lightning in a bottle every time. It's just insane. The guy's just really good at his job.
Yeah. He's given the time, and I think he's earned it. I think that's the most thing, is that he could work for as long as he wants to perfect it exactly how he wants it.
Yeah, and that's why I found it was so weird when everybody was comparing the underwater CGI stuff for The Little Mermaid against Avatar. It's like Avatar was in production for 13 years.
Yeah.
That shit was look amazing. Like,
there was no comparison. I compared it to Aquaman. I was like, okay, that's more fair. Let's go there.
That's absolutely more fair. But people were just like, after we've seen Avatar water, everything else has to look like the way. The hell it doesn't. Not when they spent 13 years making it. Like, you can't compare a movie that has a production schedule for 1 year to one that had 13 years. It just doesn't make sense, but people don't see it that way.
That's fair. That's fair. Perp, which was your favorite parts of the movie? The Flash.
Man, I freaking loved The Flash. I loved it. I found it so enjoyable. I was laughing my ass off.
I actually was surprisingly laughed too, Sean, and it's not all the humor's not in the trailer.
I'm happy people enjoyed the movie. I'm absolutely happy.
I enjoyed it. I thought the CGI, it didn't bother me at all. Like, it introduced it so early that it just
nightmares stop Max.
I got immersed in there, and I thought
the baby scene is one of the most horrific. That's a horror movie.
No, Max.
That's a horror movie.
The baby scene works for me because it was so creative in how he's solving a problem. That's what I'm looking at. I'm not looking at the CGI. I'm looking at how the hell's this guy going to save all these babies? And the way they did it was so freaking clever and fun. I didn't care about the scene.
I can't wait to watch this on Max with my wife, and she's gonna be like, "What the hell?" She might.
But how he saves it it had such a good payoff. Like, it was so clever, and it was.
I guarantee it was Ezra Miller who came up with that on the fly and said, "Hey, what if we put a baby in a microwave?" Because that just sounds so much like his humor. When you
explain things.
When you hear about hear what happened on Peacemaker, where when he did that cameo, he rambled on about Aquaman having sex with a fish for 16 minutes straight, and we only saw the cut that made the ending. James Gunn raved about his improv.
Super Friends.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, that James Gunn raved about Ezra's improv, and I'm telling you, he didn't. The writer of that movie, The Flash, the director, he didn't write that part in there. That was Ezra throwing that out there. Hey, wouldn't it be cool if there was a baby in a microwave? And they probably went, yeah, let's try it. And somebody got a microwave from craft service and said, let's bring it into the shot. I mean,
why'd they make it ding like as though the microwave was functioning?
Because that's funnier.
It was funnier. It wouldn't have been as funny
because the baby was cooking in there.
Yeah, that's why the nurse was screaming in horror.
It's hilarious. I didn't even see the movie, and that's hilarious to me.
No, but the way he solves like the baby thing, I thought was so clever. Like, he uses the pan so they don't get hit with the liquid. Like, all this different stuff that was just so clever.
I'm going to make my first cut of a movie, and it's just going to take that scene out.
The chrome ball thing was so freaking cool. Like, that idea, that visualization of time was so cool. I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before in terms of visualizing time travel, visualizing how the time, how it works out. That was so amazing. I thought that was so cool. I loved it.
I agree with you, Perp, on the baby scene, but I really got a kick out of it. I don't want to give the joke away, but I got a kick out of the first thing he did when you think like, oh, he's going to save the baby, and he doesn't. He does something else.
Yeah, he passes the baby to get the.
So funny.
Yeah. There was there's so many moments in there. Like, that's the thing. Everyone's just saying bad CGI. I was like, isn't anyone looking at the choreography, like everything? Like, it's so clever.
Wait, Sean, don't you have some issues with some productions of the quality of the quality of visuals? Like, you even had some issues with Andor. I was like, what? Andor looks great.
Oh, well, no, that shot with the Star Destroyer when they look up, it was horrible. After what they did for Rogue One, I was like, how could they have low production value like that? No, the thing about the Flash, where a lot of people just dismiss the CGI, is because over the last 25 years, 30 years, people have been trained to watch gameplay on video games, and a
slept
lot
right
of it
there.
just feels like video games. And so I think that's why people dismissed a lot of it. And there were film people like me that criticized the CGI because it felt rushed. The movie felt rushed, even though they had all the time in the world. But I think it had to do with all the constant rewrites to the script as it went. over
I
time.
think you have to see the whole movie to get the context of the CGI and stuff.
Well,
Like,
I think
yeah.
even the director had made a comment like, "Well, it was supposed to be like that's what it looks like in this
Yeah.
alternate
I
universe."
think
Well, that's-
based
it
on
was
the
his point of
limited
view.
special effects budget they gave him, I think it was intended based on the budget they gave him. Is my
Yeah,
interpretation.
and the whole time I never I was just saying like to myself, this is cool. Like the first time he it's stylized, I think.
But what?
And
what
the movie teaches you like it's from the very beginning. It has this certain style, so like you could get immersed in that, and I was like, this is the world we live in. This
Go
is
ahead.
the effects for this world. You know, that's how I saw the whole thing.
It's I guess it would almost be like the way the Matrix is. When you're out of the Matrix, everything looks gritty and like real, and then when you go in the Matrix, everything is surreal. So I could see how, that's maybe how Muschietti or Paschetti, whatever spaghetti, whatever you call him, that's what he interpreted.
Mom spaghetti.
There you go.
All right, go ahead, Talati. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
So Pep, what did you think of Supergirl after I told you about her performance?
Okay.
Oh, Supergirl was great.
I thought she was good. I wanted a little more development from her, but I thought like they nailed her in terms of the posing and every
I'd
shot
like
she
to
was
nail her.
in. Oh, that's Supergirl. Show respect. She looked awesome. Like and the way they would like when she's floating, like the silhouettes they would use of her, like visually, like she was perfect. I wanted a little more from the character, and her action scenes were my favorite. She was awesome.
Was I right or was I right?
Yeah, you were right. Yeah, she was awesome. But I was also I thought I was gonna get annoyed with Ezra at first. Like
so did I. The younger one. I loved it.
And then once the original Ezra was a little too much with the little like what is I never had sex, but I know what it is. That was a little cringe for me. But then it's like okay, so they make like you have to blurt something out when you hold that thing. Can't they just shut up? Do they have to like say
See, that
something?
played
No,
better.
that's the
I
last
heard that
That's the
line
last
ahead
soul
of
of
time.
truth. You have to tell.
Yeah, I heard that line ahead
But
of time. I thought I was gonna
can you
cringe,
just
but
shut up though? Can you just stay silent so you don't
No.
say anything? No,
No.
you're gonna say
No.
something.
I-
Damn,
Yes.
I
didn't
gotta
know.
tell
Okay.
you that joke, that whole joke was a throwback to my favorite scene in Justice League when Aquaman sits on the.
I did
the
like that
lasso.
scene. I like
That
scene.
scene. That is like my favorite scene
Yeah.
in Justice League. And the fact that they did that joke again and it's still delivered, like I was still laughing. And Wonder Woman even goes, "Never gets old."
I
And I'm like,
think-
he's right. It never gets old.
Yeah,
I think
No,
the Momoa scene was better
yeah.
executed. Though.
But Ezra, like I thought I was gonna get annoyed, but once they went back and they were more like they felt like the responsibility come in and they were taking everything more serious, I fell in love with the performances, both of them. Both of them.
Can somebody confirm to me, because I haven't seen the movie and I don't think it's a spoiler, but does the Keaton Batmobile move other than the reveal?
No.
I didn't think
No.
so. It's like they
No.
parked it there, they gave it that money shot, and then he's flying in the Batwing the whole
Yeah,
time. Right?
I'm disappointed in that.
I
I'm thinking
needed
of starting.
Batmobile.
Yeah, I'm thinking of starting a rumor that Batmobile moves in Batgirl. Maybe we could get that movie out there. So
I thought the fire on the Warner Brothers lot was
trying to get
doing Mission Impossible. Doing
trying to
Mission
get that
Impossible at Warner
movie.
Brothers. Yeah.
No, I absolutely loved Flash. I'm so glad I got to go see it. So
Cool.
I'll catch it when it's on streaming.
Yeah,
I just didn't want to rush out.
See, I was horrified at the Chrono Bowl in IMAX though, and
I
the movie
loved
scene.
it.
But I liked the movie with not all the cameos in the Chrono Bowl. I know it's not a spoiler to say which ones, and
They were all on
I liked
Twitter.
Yeah, I liked it with all that because I had zero expectations for cameos in this movie. I just wanted to enjoy the movie, and I loved it, and I think it was very funny. There's some really, really funny stuff with Ezra, and I think Ezra was one of the bright spots. Michael Keaton and Sasha, definitely.
You
Say
thought
what
you
Christopher,
will
how'd you
about
think
Ezra, but they can act.
Perp, what did you think about how Christopher Reeve looked in it?
Yeah, again, I felt like it was stylized within his like he's moving in through multiverses. Like that's not even technically his reality. So I was fine with it. like I laughed, because I was like, this is ridiculous, but it's so much fun. Like I just went with the whole thing.
Nicholas
Like,
Cage looked like rubber, though. Come on,
Yeah,
man. He had
yeah.
one eye was all smaller than the other. I
And
don't know
that's
what
the
was
other
wrong.
thing. They kept saying, like, CGI Christopher Reeve, CGI. That wasn't CGI. That was archival footage. They used archival footage of him.
Yeah,
But what
and then
they did was they digitized over it, is what they did to
Yeah,
give
'cause
it
they
the
were-
look.
yeah.
That's
It
where
was
they
it
screwed
was
up.
intent. I think there was intent there, though. I think they were really trying to say, okay, this is going to be like a stylized sort of version. I was even reminded of Man of Steel. Remember when they're explaining the story of what happened in Krypton through that metallic sort of that metallic alloy that would just
Right, that
show
would
the
morph
painting.
and show the
Yeah, it kind of looked like that a little bit. So it all went with the language of the DCEU, like in my opinion, like how it all like fits together in one cohesive like style story, if you will. I don't know.
I also said I think that those cameos worked better than all the different Spider-Men we saw in Across the Spider-Verse.
No,
Because
Yeah.
Across the Spider-Verse was just like a barrage, like
it's an
another
opinion, but
Spider-Man,
oh
another
god,
Spider-Man,
no.
another
Yeah.
Spider-Man. And then this movie just gave us one subtle little scene where you get a couple other, and it makes sense in the story, but it's not overwhelming. It's a minute and then it's done. And I think it just felt so much more organic.
I disagree with like I like the Spider Bros. I think the movie picked up after that. I think I like the Flash way more than that Spider-Man movie, the live action one, because I thought the first half of that one was a mess and it didn't like get fun until Spider Bros were doing science together. And then but I like the Flash way more than that movie.
Well, I meant Across the Spider-Verse, but I agree with you on that too.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, I haven't seen Across. Yeah.
They said there were 255 different Spider-Men created for Into the Spider-Verse.
And they were all substantial cameos. Most of them were.
I haven't seen it. I
And
gotta see that.
I haven't seen it either because
Next
I'm
level
afraid
masterpiece.
the trailer gave me an epileptic seizure. It's just there's so much going on in the frame that
It's exhausting.
I need to wait and watch that in my house in case I pass out. I can land on the couch.
I was in shock how much of a masterpiece that film is. Like, oh, it's amazing. It's still making money.
Yeah,
So is
it is.
Batgirl.
What you expect?
So is Batgirl.
I said so is Batgirl. I meant to say Little
sorry.
Mermaid. God damn it.
CGH really wants to know. He thinks Sean knows that they really delete the Batgirl footage.
No.
It's in the archives.
Not a chance.
They're making it
Not
valuable.
a chance. I still feel somebody's going to leak some stuff. And we've seen things start trickling out, pictures here. And some of those pictures were taken down off Twitter by with copyright thing. Warner Brothers hit them with it because they don't want the stuff getting out. Because if it gets out, that could come back on them on their tax write-off. But listen, I work on shows. We all have cell phones. We all take footage. Don't let anybody ever kid you. I've got stuff on my phone that'll blow people's minds, but you can't put stuff out. And they have it. They have stuff. But over time, things will trickle out.
Reassure Perp. He's very concerned.
Yeah,
Very concerned.
Just recently, there was footage that came out, I think, of Harrison Ford getting from Temple of Doom, a behind the scenes thing where he's getting whipped. Remember, he's getting whipped, and then all of a sudden, Carrie Fisher, instead of the tuggy guard, is whipping him, and then Barbara Streisand jumps in and she's whipping Harrison Ford, and it was all on his birthday, and they showed up. They flew all the way to the location where they were filming, and they joined in, and it's black and white footage from like Video Village where they have a monitor, and it leaked online. Somebody dumped it, and I was like, I've never seen this in all the years I've been on this planet. And so you're gonna have footage come out over time of Batgirl. It's just we just have to wait.
Mm-hmm. Well, we do actually have some. We're getting close to the end here. We've been really just doing a few topics, and we'll do random topics that the panel want to do. But we do have this first. Hold on. Oh, damn it. I messed it up.
Breaking news.
James Gunn is hinting about the costume of Superman Legacy. Now, some people might say this is, what are you saying? Oh, God, Delania.
It's about the underwear, right?
Yeah.
No, he hinted by just posting this Now, does this mean he's going to use it? Not
How's
necessarily.
that a hint?
But I would love him to use the original. What do you think, Brucifer? I like this costume.
I like the costume.
I think it looks great on what's the actor's name
Tyler
from
Hoechlin.
Tyler Hoechlin.
Yeah, I would love an homage to the first suit to Action Comics.
I think that's going to be like the beginning suit, and as the movie progresses, his suit
No,
will
but
change.
if he now see if he's already supposed to have been Superman for a while, why would you like? That doesn't make sense. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm
Well,
saying
would-
it just doesn't
would
make sense.
Would any of you be okay with this S? I would love this S. I think, or does it look? I think it looks great.
Looks like 1950s. No, I'd tap out on that
It
one.
doesn't look like it came from Krypton. If they're trying to do a thing like Spider-Man and you made the costume at home.
You know what it looks like? Remember in Captain America when they made him do the USO shows or whatever, and they made him look like a.
But
you know,
this
like
is
that.
an alien guy
I
from another
know.
planet. Like at least with the suit that was made, and they even tried this in Superman Returns. They would put the little details inside the symbols or the lettering, and that's the one thing at least Zack Snyder kind of got right, is like the suits look amazing, whether you like them or not. But if this is what he goes with, that and then you throw crypto in there with the flying dog, I'm done. I'm done.
I can't wait to see Crypto.
Crypto is the key to all this.
It's going to tie the movie together.
It's gonna be mid if he does it.
James Gunn can't resist having a
Mid,
furry.
I don't think
character in the
James Gunn
movie.
has done mid.
Well, this is where
I
this
don't know
is
if James
this
Gunn's
is-
capable of mid, and
this is
also
where-
mid isn't a dirty word.
This is where we're getting to the gun cultists, like people said about the Snyder Bros. Like he's never done anything wrong. It's amazing.
No, but Max, there is something I want to say about the suit, right? Like
Okay.
instead of having that, why don't we have this?
Okay, I like the other vibe of the other suit. I kind of want something different. Now Crypto, I'm not sold on. I'm not against it. I'm not for it.
See, I said from the time Man of Steel came out that Zack Snyder goofed by not giving him the red belt. If you weren't going to give him the trunks, that red belt really helps break up all the blue.
I think Cavill's suit was perfect. It could have been a little bit brighter. That's about it.
Absolutely could have been brighter. Yeah.
But that's about it. I think it looked great. He looked like his muscles. That's important, I think.
It's obvious that like James Gunn can't have a suit that looks like Cavill's. Like he's got to do something a little different. But this S with the black and the yellow, I like
that.
It looks dated. It just looks. I don't know how you'd modernize that.
Well,
I don't
they did it on Superman and Lois.
Plastic.
Yeah, that looks like it was ironed on. Though, is that really from Superman and Lois? They put that on?
It was the Crisis, right, Taladia?
No, that was
it was in
first
the
episode
first episode. They did a montage of Superman throughout the years, and this little kid goes, "Nice suit," and he goes, "My mom made it," and then he flies off. And so,
Okay, it looks like a homemade suit.
yeah.
I mean, this may not be a hint at all. He just was posting the first introduction to Superman. This might not be a hint at a suit at all, but I would be okay with this.
My thing is, at least with the Cavill suit, and again, I'm not a Snyder bro, but at least with the Cavill suit, if that got hit with fire or it felt foreign, like it could repel things. This looks like his mom made it, and if his mom made it with earthbound materials, if you get into a fireball or things are shot at you,
shredded,
it's gonna just get it doesn't make sense. It needs to be a
Well,
foreign.
he's fast enough to dodge stuff like that.
Yeah.
What's that?
He's fast enough to dodge fire.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Well, but at
Sasha
least,
still looked good in Flash. That was very understated, but it looked good.
But even in the Christopher Reeve, they wrapped him in the garbs that he later turned into the suit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They wrapped him as a baby so it was from a different planet, the cloth. Like you don't know the properties of it, how it protected him in the.
I mean, in a lot of the comics, he did get his costume shredded all the time. Like, that's a kind of a new thing that Zach did, which I was okay with. Was that the suit
I can see the jokes. He'll catch fire and he'll be nude, and and then there'll be a jokey joke.
That'd be perfect.
It's like Flash.
Yep.
And it'll make the box office of the
Yes,
Flash.
I forgot that
exactly
was a
what's
scene
gonna
in
happen.
Flash. Yeah.
I only bring up the Captain America reference because okay, just thinking, this could be anything, right? It could be like, okay, maybe Superman doesn't have a suit, but they know that he's Superman and they parade him out. It's like, you got to wear something. They give him this corny thing to wear. And maybe he has his own take on it and he uses ship parts or whatever. And that's how he creates the new suit.
Well, but again, I'll circle back to the actual, remember the title of the movie is called Superman Legacy. And he's dealing with the fact that he's dealing with his legacy. He's already been Superman for quite a few years. There's already other superheroes living within this world. We're going to be introduced to the Authority. There's no reason for him to have a day one suit. He should already be flying around doing everything, and everybody already knows him.
All right.
I don't know. I could be so wrong, and I will be fine if I'm wrong, but it just feels off if they go with that.
Yeah, I agree with Sean on that. I feel like it's outdated for them to bring back the
I
Trunks.
think it's a great suit to give tribute to the Superman's fans for all the years that people have.
They
followed
might
them
maybe
in the
they'll
comics.
remember when they did Incredible Hulk after the CJH's favorite Hulk, Eric Bana, and they did the one with what's his name?
Edward Norton.
Edward Norton. And in the intro, they handle that stuff. But maybe they would do a great montage in the intro and show him becoming Superman or something like that, and then just get right into the story after the credits. Who knows?
He can go up against the Authority, and that suit gets destroyed.
I've always said that they should bring back a modernized version of the intro to the radio series and TV show.
I was just gonna say maybe they do that like they did in the Christopher Reeve one, where the intro was the curtains that opened up and it showed all the comic book stuff. Maybe they do that.
But it's like that's your origin. If you do the Superman, strange visitor from another planet, like if you do like a modernized version of that, that's your origin in 30 seconds. You don't need to have an origin. You could just stick that on there. It's a nice little tribute to the history of the character, and you're off.
Or they could just pick up and not explain anything. It's kind of like what they did with in Captain America Civil War when he finds Spider-Man and just adds him to the crew. It's like we didn't have to see Ben die. We didn't have to see, all the just here he is. He's freaking here. He's been in Brooklyn or Queens or whatever doing his thing. They should just go that direction. He's already out there doing his thing.
Yeah. I mean the way I see it as well is like for this Superman movie as well, I would like to see something different, like something we haven't seen in cinema or on television before, right? And as well, I would like to see
who's doing coke.
No,
anybody wants some?
I think Joe's still recovering from his cold.
Yeah.
I got a little something going on too. So.
But I do know that James Gunn has confirmed that there isn't going to be a young Clark Kent in the movie. He's already confirmed that on social media. So
yeah. Well, he also said The Flash was the greatest superhero movie ever made. So he lies. I mean, he's been lying.
Well, I don't think he's lying. I definitely put it in the top 10.
That.
It is.
I can see people.
Well, he said he didn't fire James Gunn. He just said he wasn't cast.
Or head count. Yeah.
Well, that's
Henry
not
Cavill.
accurate.
And then, well, there's another topic that I wanted to cover, and then we'll do whatever anyone else wants to cover before we go. We'll do 15, 20-minute heads up. Go ahead, Bert.
Yeah, I got to head out anyway, though. It was fun talking to you guys. And
I'm glad you liked The Flash.
Yeah, I loved it. It was great. It was fun.
Hey, did you watch Wicked yet?
No, not yet. I'm going to, though, for sure.
Hey,
I'll definitely let you know. Don't worry.
I got to find a way to rip the DVD because we should have a watch party.
I'll send it to you. I'll send you something. What's up,
Hey, Ferb, I'll send you all the lists tonight or tomorrow morning.
Okay, cool. All right. Later, guys. Have fun. I'm going to keep listening, so don't talk crap.
So the last topic that I wanted to cover, and then anything Sean, Joe, or Bruce, or Voltaire, Talati wants to talk about before we end the stream. I know, Sean, you and my pal Brian have stressed superhero fatigue, but I gotta say, Secret Invasion is the cure to that. It is so good. Espionage thriller, sci-fi. Joe's disagreeing with me already. Oh no!
I'm not really digging it. I'm 2 episodes in. I think it's kind of boring.
My god!
I talked to my friend Dave. He said the same thing. He's like, we're not really liking Secret Invasion.
It's so good, and people were talking bad about this. It's like a different type of superhero. Nick?
Look, I'll say this: there are moments in it, like
Oh, you watch it too? Okay.
I've watched the first 2 episodes, and
Okay.
I like that banter back and forth between Don
Oh,
Cheadle and Sam
yes.
Jackson.
That
That
was my
was
scene
really
was
good stuff.
amazing.
I will say the first episode was a little boring. I was very disappointed about Kobe Smulders.
Yes.
It absolutely, because I've just
Well,
loved her
be careful.
since.
Yeah.
Okay. So like but I think it's well acted. I'm enjoying it. We'll see where it goes. I'm not
I
in
was
love with
also
it.
pleasantly surprised because people were complaining about the scroll makeup, and I thought it was decent for a TV show. It
I
didn't
didn't
look
think it was any
amazing.
different than in the movies.
No,
It didn't look any different than in the
yeah,
movies,
but people were complaining about that. I'm like, and so
Oh, I know
They're just
people
looking for
complaining
something to
about
complain.
them not showing the actual scrolls on screen.
Well,
For
there's
any long
there's an
period of time.
important reason to it. There's a story
Budget.
point. No, well, that too, but it's very justified throughout the story.
The de-aging they did on Sam Jackson was amazing in the second episode.
Yeah.
Or was it?
And there's lots of surprises in the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And it's really and a great villain. What's his name? Garrick? What's his name?
I liked him, and then I liked what's her name that from the Queen that's playing the MI6. She was really good.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's some really top-notch acting and a great villain.
And I will say from a cinematic, the cinematography is amazing. The night scenes with the cobblestones walking, the way it's lit, some of that is just balls amazing. So like the production value is really good. I just, who knows where it's going to go, but it's got to lead somewhere. I mean, we've only got 4 episodes left. Right?
I also was concerned that it wasn't going to be as an epic build but I'm not feeling that after watching. The only thing I would, no, it doesn't have to be. But the only other thing I would criticize is like the AI intro was not that great. Like I
skipped it. I skip it every time because I don't want the mouse house to know I'm actually watching it.
Yeah, but I am really impressed. Although Voltaire, I was going to recommend to you, but you're not a huge fan of Andor either, right, Voltaire?
I watched the first episode. I decided I'm gonna, like with Andor, I let it build up. It was easier to watch it in chunks as opposed to week. And after I watched the first episode of Secret Invasion, I was like, okay, I'm gonna let this build up and then I'll watch them all together.
I think this is the best Nick Fury we've gotten.
Best Nick Fury.
I think it's good. Certain scenes I feel like he's totally dialing it in, but other scenes I feel like he's putting in the work.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
I think Captain Marvel was my favorite Nick Fury appearance. He was really funny in that.
Yeah. Oh, I highly recommend it, but unfortunately, it doesn't seem like a lot of people are giving this a chance yet.
I mean, I'll watch every episode. I watch all of them, but like so far, it's my second least favorite of the Disney Plus shows. My least favorite's Moon Knight.
I haven't even watched Moon Knight. It looks so bad.
I think this is way up there with the best of Disney Plus, the best of some of the movies to me. I mean, I don't know if it's going to keep that for me, but the first 2 episodes, I was really drawn in. And I'll be honest, I was not anticipating watching this at all. I was just like, I got to give it a shot. I feel bad no one's watching it. I like Samuel L. Jackson. I didn't know that Cheadle was going to make an appearance. I guess.
Yeah, I didn't know Don Cheadle was in it either. But he's so good. He brings it.
Yeah.
Man.
And this is the best I've seen of Cheadle because I really like Terrence Howard as the first roadie. And, Don Cheadle's an amazing actor, but as this character, he's kind of like not really.
I mean, he had the most to do in Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
And then in Captain America Civil War.
But I haven't really felt like he's really given it to.
Yeah, you're right. They haven't given him a lot to work.
No, and even in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, he had like one scene.
Yeah,
about passing.
It kind of like a throwaway joke line they've given to him, like not. And I do also feel the building up there for Iron Wars. Iron Wars is going to be a movie now.
Armor Wars, yeah.
Armor Wars,
my buddy's working on it down there. Yeah, he's.
Really?
They haven't started yet. Yeah, I got a friend of mine who's on. He's one of the crew members on there, and he's kind of high up there. Yeah, they were originally going to make it a Disney Plus show, and then Don Cheadle said he wanted it as a movie, and because he never had a chance to have his own movie, and so they scrapped it, and they've been rewriting it for a feature film. So
interesting.
Yeah, you could be right, Vince. You could be right. I didn't think of that.
I think
Yeah.
that's the other thing with this show. I think everybody's a Skrull.
Everybody's a Skrull until they're not.
Right. So I want to wait till it's all built up and then I'll watch it. And by the way, the worst, in my opinion, the worst Marvel show was out of Falcon and Winter Soldier. In my
I love that
opinion.
show.
Yeah, I see. I
know
my
people like-
problems with Falcon and the Winter Soldier is, Bucky went toe to toe in Civil War with Black Panther, and it was a brutal fight. The fighting he did with Captain America in Civil War, but then he's going to get punked out by a couple of kids on the train on the trucks. It made no sense to me. And then once Falcon became Captain America at the end, that Brinks truck is falling off the bridge and he grabs it and he's holding onto it and he's using his thrusters to push it back up. Dude, he's not a super soldier guy with super soldier serum. That would have snapped his arms at the elbow and crushed him. The force of that winged suit pushing his own human arms against a Brinks truck that weighs 8 tons, that would have killed him. And so if they don't explain, like somehow the Wakanda suit gives him something extra, we're in trouble. And I really hope in this next movie he's forced to just suck it up and take the super serum that Zemo is coming up with in the next movie, because I'm tired of trying to buy him. I mean, even the throwing of the Captain America shield to throw it. The thing about Captain America, Steve Rogers, he knew the mathematics of how to throw that thing and where it was bouncing and how to anticipate the catch, because he was a super soldier. Not only was his strength, it was his brain was also enhanced. But you don't get that with Falcon, and so he's still just a human. And for him to do all the things that Captain America does without any super soldier serum doesn't make sense to me, and it pulled me out of that show, especially Bucky being punked out.
Okay.
Yeah, just give it to him. Just make him a superhero, for God's sakes. Just give it to him. Take the drug. Don't be humble. Oh, I don't want to do it.
Okay.
Give it to him.
It works for me. It works. I'm waiting to see that. That's actually finished filming. Also, I do want to hear Crazy Joe's hot take still on this. And Brucifer Taladia, have you been wanting to see this?
I got to watch the second episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
I told you I've been busy watching the marvelous Mrs. Maple.
Yeah.
I gotta watch that too. I know.
It's so good.
I
It's
know my boy
hilarious.
Zach Levy's in there. So
Yes,
and
he's
Ben
funny.
Ben Mendelsohn's character that he reprised, great acting. Him and Nick Fury going together, kind of trying to work together, but butting heads and promises that were made and all this stuff. And his character's trying to keep together. I forget his character's name. What's Ben Mendelsohn's character's name? Talos. Yes. Talos is great in this, in what they have to, him and Nick Fury, what they have to, the storyline and working together. And he's kind of he's helping Nick Fury against his own people. It's very great. It's great to me. But Joe, okay.
Yeah.
You don't like it. You're not a fan.
it's fine. It's just
okay.
not. I mean, it's just kind of dull. I mean, most of these Disney Plus shows, people keep complaining about, oh, there are too many Disney Plus shows. Most of them have been so good, though. It's like they've been so good. And this one I just found dull. I found Moon Knight dull, but they're really the only two that I've had a problem with.
Well, Bruce, you saw the first. What do you think of the first episode?
I really liked the first episode.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah,
I might watch it again.
It's exactly what they promoted as a spy thriller.
Yeah. And the thing is, there's, even though they've got the Skrulls in it, there's no super soldier serum coming out of Nick Fury. So it has to be more of a grounded human story versus, and that's one of the things they explain is that, like, because there's a million Skrulls on the planet. Oh, if that's a spoiler, if that wasn't divulged in the first episode, the reason the Avengers aren't around is because they're afraid someone will touch an Avenger and then they can take their form on, but they have to have a contact with him. So you don't want Thor around. You don't want anybody around that they can touch and then become them and then throw off everybody on the planet, because maybe they'll go do something evil as that superhero. And so that I like that aspect, which kind of explains why nobody's around. And it's just Nick Fury trying to figure this thing out. Keeps
I
it
like
grounded
that.
more in reality, if you will. I mean,
no, I love that explanation. Why don't we get our friends involved? Well, do you want a bunch of? Yeah, the world would go into chaos.
Yep.
Yeah. That's all I had for topics. If anyone else wants to say anything before we end, go check out Sean. Go check out Joe, Taladia, Brucifer tomorrow. Brucifer now has a channel.
Oh.
Yeah. He's got a new show, The King of Nerds.
Kingdom of Nerds, douche.
No, but but that's your channel name, but you're the king, right? Good to be the king. Okay.
I've seen bigger nerds.
Oh, let Nick. I do say this is. I think it's kind of more of a adult Marvel story. The violent, not that I'm looking for excessive violence, but there was some stuff in there that was pretty hardcore in the Secret Invasion.
I feel like James Gunn, they let him in Guardians of the Galaxy have the first F-bomb, and that was so wrong, because if anyone deserved to say it, it was Samuel L. Jackson. And he almost said it when he got the snap, he, what the fuck? And then he just, turned into dust when he got dusted. And they were so close to giving him that moment. And then to give it to James Gunn and let him do it in his movie, I thought we got robbed. So, and I'm against cursing like this in all superhero movies. I don't like it in the DC stuff. I don't like it in the Marvel stuff, because people forget that these things do have kids that want to be these characters. They go buy the toys.
That everywhere.
I understand it, but at some point it's like, why don't you just not do it?
I agree fully. It doesn't add anything to it. It just
nothing.
It just makes it inappropriate for some viewers. We got to remember. I have no problem with it if it's in something like Preacher. Like if you're doing it in a comic that originated for mature readers,
or Deadpool, that's fine. And Deadpool, it's fine, but things that are targeted towards
Deadpool
kids
never curse in the comics. So
I mean, well, here's the thing. I've said it before. Deadpool did not need to be rated R. It worked as rated R. It definitely did. It worked, but it didn't need to be. And the history of the character, he wasn't rated R in the comics. He wasn't.
Affirmative action.
There's a question in the comment section real quick. I just wanted to answer. It's a quick question for Sean. What do you think about Barbie? What do you think Barbie will do opening weekend? And I'll say this. I don't know, but I will say Oppenheimer is going to bomb.
You used Joe's line.
I said that the reviewers, that should be the reviewers line. They should say Oppenheimer is the bomb.
Here's the problem. Although it's going to be an amazing film, it's going to look good. It's got an all-star cast. What's going against it is morale. People don't want to watch a movie that's depressing about nuclear holocaust, about the man who invented the bomb, they want to be escapism. This world sucks that we're living in these times. And I feel like what's going to win the box office is going to be Mission Impossible, and it's going to be Barbie. And Mission Impossible, they're going to be fun, kind of uplifting movies, where Oppenheimer is a dud. It needs to come out in November. Like, it should not be being released. And once again, you're up against the $1 billion Tom Cruise, and I think it's going to flop at the box office.
That Mission Impossible thing they showed before Indiana Jones, really some tremendous shots in that.
Yeah. Well, and they've kind of given it all that away. I hope they've held something back other than the motorcycle jump.
Mm-hmm. It's going to take a heck of a lot to get me into a Christopher Nolan movie again. Like, I don't trust him. Like,
yeah, I agree.
He's burned me too many times. I liked his Batman movies. I liked Memento, but most of his movies are just such garbage.
I think his movies are good, but I do think he's way overrated.
I hate The Prestige. I remember seeing The Prestige in the theater. I'm like, what the heck was that? That was garbage. Then I hated Inception, and then Tenet was like, they built a whole movie around a special effect. Like, oh, we can make things go backwards. Let's write a story around that.
I liked Inception. I liked that one. I thought some interesting ideas there. Right.
And the watcher says, I don't think Sean's going to like the DCU with Gunn because he's going to go full comic booky, which is long overdue. I get it. But remember the last time they went full comic booky, which was like Batman Forever? And that kind of tanked the Batman franchise when they went full comic booky.
I don't think that was full comic book.
Yeah, that was full.
I think the MCU is full like that's what.
I mean full comic booky, jokey. I mean, you look at what they did with.
Comic books aren't jokey anymore. They haven't been in decades.
Yeah, but let's be honest. We want them jokey.
Yes, we do.
Listen,
jokes are great.
Look, if you go back and you look at the original Christopher Reeve, he's standing there, and when they first see him, and the guy hits him with the crowbar, and he turns and he goes, "Bad vibrations." I mean, I get that kind of subtle jokey. The problem is if you like, for me, if you look at Guardians of the Galaxy and you look at the things like Peacemaker, that's what I fear. I fear like the DCU turning into Peacemaker, because I think that's for a specific audience, and I don't think that's for the general audience. And I look at it from a show business standpoint, not the comic book lore. That's where I think. And if the Superman movie comes out and it tanks or is even performs a little bit lower than Man of Steel, oh, dude, Gunn. He's not going to last.
Well, Peacemaker's not like that in the comic at all, and not until this year anyway. Nobody really cared about him.
But that's my point. I mean, look what they did with him. All
right. Well, I have to work tomorrow. I want everyone to have a great holiday. I'm happy for those that have off. I get off Tuesday. That's something, Say where, Walter? Do you work tomorrow?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, me too. Tomorrow's not the holiday.
No, but lots of people out there got like a 4-day thing. So that I'm very happy.
Yeah, some people did.
Yeah, those are called unemployed people.
No, there's lots of jobs that,
Taladia, you're in the UK. You can't speak to that.
Before we wrap this up, I'd like to get Sean's 2 cents on something, because and actually, it's a shame. It's a shame Perp left, because I would have liked to get in his 2 cents too. As guys who work in the industry, I'd love to get your 2 cents on this. The writer's strike, the actor's strike that may be coming. Okay. I stand with the writers. I want them to get everything they deserve. So I'm not saying I'm against the writers. I certainly am for them. But I keep wondering if this was the wrong time for a strike. And the reason I say that is, I think now's an especially bad time, because if we look at the box office right now, we look at how bad movies are doing, we are still in a recovery phase. And last summer, there were no movies coming out because of COVID. They stopped filming. There was nothing coming out. And we had this long stretch with nothing, and it really hurt the business. And now we're in recovery. And my fear is, if we get to another one of those gaps where nothing was made for a long period of time, is this going to have long-term negative effects on the very people who are striking, because they're not going to have jobs now because the business is suffering?
Well, I can speak on this pretty much. I wrapped my last show November 9th of last year. Okay. I made 6 figures last year. I made 6 figures the year before that. I've made no money this year, and we're 6-7 months into the year. And so I'm, if there's anyone that's hurting, my family's hurting big time. And so it does hurt, but here's the thing. I sympathize with the writers as well. Remember, their contract expired during COVID, but they did a 2-year extension on it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I didn't realize that. Yeah.
Okay. And see that a lot of people don't realize that their contract was over, and they said, no, you know what? Because of COVID, everything's shut down. Why don't we just extend it for 2 more years? And they obliged the producers and said, sure, we'll do that. Now, here's the other thing. They've been making these movies and TV shows under what they call a new media contract. Well, Netflix has been around for 16, 17 years now. It's not new media anymore. Streaming is a thing. It's been a thing. And when a writer has writes on a show and it gets on network television, they get a check. a residual check. When it is streamed 500 million times on Netflix, they get nothing because it's considered new media still all these years later. It's not fair. They should be entitled to something when they're reaping the billions of dollars. You look at Hulu brings in $12 billion a year. That's a combination of advertisers and subscribers. Now Disney Plus has their tiers. Now Netflix has their tiers. They're making money hand over fist, and they're not paying the people a wage, a proper wage for what the benefits they're reaping financially is just ungodly amounts of money. Don't let them fool you. And remember, a lot of these corporations and stuff, they're only the shareholders, the boards. You're talking a dozen or so people are making money. Not hundreds of thousands. I mean, you look at like Zaslav made 245 million last year, and literally that amount of money could help compensate the 10,000 writers that are in the WGA that have gotten screwed for 15 years. So it becomes when's enough, guys? Like, does one family, the Zaslav family, need 245 million a year? That's a lot of money, in 4 years, that's $1 billion. Could they not break off a little bread for the people that write and create the stuff that you're making money off of? Absolutely. They know they've gotten away with it for a long time, and they're going to have to deal with it. The AI issue is going to be one of the reasons why the WGA has held out, is because they knew that SAG was going to, possibly strike. They just extended their contract 2 weeks while they're doing negotiations right now. There's a chance they might not strike. I think they will strike. I think it'll only be for about 2 weeks though, and then they'll come to terms. And the AI thing is a big issue, and whatever the actors have in their contract is the template for the WGA to negotiate when it comes to the AI, because it's a big deal. AI is a huge deal. And only if you're in a writer's room do you understand the implications of what that is. I mean, as a test, I cranked out an 85-page script in 2 days on ChatGPT, and it wasn't very good, but it's the skeleton of a movie, but it's not very good. You still need writers to finesse it and do their job. But if you're going to have AI write scripts and then just pay people pennies to come in and polish scripts, that's a joke, man. Because all they're doing is picking and choosing things from other intellectual property that's out on the internet and making something of it. So you're stealing ideas and content from other movies that are already out there in the lexicon. And see, that's not original. That's not a writer in a room. These things have to be hashed out, or we're going to have subpar. You think the writing is bad now? Wait till ChatGPT and all these AIs start taking over. Then we'll have mediocre crap. And then what'll happen is you'll get a generation of people that are just being spoon-fed mediocre crap, and they'll think that this is all great. Just like, reality TV show over the last 40 years has just dumbed down society. That is what's going to happen. People aren't going to see truly written movies anymore. It's true.
Ethan says they're horrendously terrible movies.
What movies? What movies are we talking about?
The majority of them is what he's saying.
Yeah. But a lot of the majority of the movies that are being made and cranked up all throughout this new media that we've been doing is all because they're not giving the actors or the writers the time to do it right. And they just want to crank out content, chase the next dollar, and they're steamrolling people. And so you're getting subpar work. They used to have these things called writer's room, where you get 14 people in a room and everybody would get an assignment. Okay, you get this character, come up with stuff that makes that character work within let's say it's Law and Order. You come up with this guy, and then we'll make it all work. What's happening is people are getting notes on texts and working from home, and they're not being able to interact with other people in a room and come up with ideas and brainstorm. And they'll get a note. Hey, this is what happens in this episode. Can you fix it? And they'll just write a scene in an email and send it. And they don't even know if it's going to make it into the script. That's the crap they're doing now. And that's why everything's suffering.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost midnight for me. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, members. I appreciate all the support for the channel. I love talking to Sean. Wish you the best for you and your family. There are good things on Twitter. I see you posting mostly positive stuff on Twitter, Sean.
Sure.
It's great stuff. So go give him a follow there. Taladia, go give Joe a follow.
I post a lot of positive things on Twitter, and then people tell me I'm wrong, and I tell them, no, you're wrong, because I don't back down.
That's right. That's right. Brucifer.
Yes.
Go check out Brucifer's channel for tomorrow. Can't wait. I will try to be in the audience. It's Monday. Although I have off Tuesday. I'll see what I could do. What
time you going on, Brucifer? What time you going live?
I'm going live at 8 p.m. Eastern.
And people keep asking when the Voltaire show's coming.
Yeah,
No
me
time
and Voltaire
soon.
are working
No
on
time
a show called Law and Order.
Law and Order. Yes. That's my Law and Order buddy.
He's the law, and I keep the fucking order.
Oh!
Whoa!
Oh my!
All right.
That was great. That was great.
Demonetized
Thank
right
you.
at the end. No, I'm just kidding.
That's what I'm here for.
All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you. Have a good, safe holiday. Go see some movies. Go enjoy some entertainment.
There's some good ones out.
Happy
Indiana
4th,
Jones, man.
everybody. God bless America.
Yeah.